Enochian magic, the language of angels. But what if those angels are something else entirely, something far more personal? Most believe it began with John Dee, a Renaissance scholar, but its roots may plunge into something far older, far more hermetic. This system is powerful, arcane, and has been misunderstood for centuries. Proceed with respect, or at your own peril. John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, and Edward Kelly, a controversial medium, were they visionaries, charlatans, or something in between? In a time of religious upheaval and intellectual ferment, Dee sought a more direct connection to the divine, but his methods were unconventional, to say the least. His relentless pursuit emerged as the rediscovery of Hermetic texts and Kabbalah flourished, a time when the boundaries between science, philosophy, and magic were blurred. Dee's meticulous diaries detail his angelic conversations, but modern scholars like Donald Tyson suggest these angels may have been something else entirely. What if Dee and Kelly tapped into something beyond the conventional understanding of angels? Enochian magic is not a game. Misuse can lead to psychological imbalances, spiritual disruptions, or worse. Warnings abound from experienced practitioners cautioning against dabbling without proper preparation, respect, and guidance. The path can be fraught with peril, a twisting labyrinth of the mind where one wrong turn can lead to unforeseen consequences. But with the right understanding, Enochian magic can become a powerful tool for self-discovery, personal transformation, and perhaps even a glimpse into the nature of reality itself. It provides a unique framework for exploring the hidden dimensions of consciousness, allowing us to access deeper levels of awareness and unlock our true potential. Forget summoning. This system is about more than just contacting otherworldly entities. It's about mastering internal transformation, unlocking hidden potential, and ultimately knowing yourself. It's about understanding the symbolic language of the universe, the hidden codes that govern reality, and the power that lies dormant within each of us. It's a journey into the depths of the human psyche, a quest for self-knowledge that can lead to profound insights and transformative experiences. So the real secret. Enochian isn't a language for talking to angels, it's a key for unlocking the angel within. It's a map of consciousness, a set of keys to unlock realities beyond our everyday perception, a symbolic system for self-discovery, and perhaps something more. It offers a glimpse into the interconnectedness of all things, the holographic nature of reality, and the potential for human beings to transcend the limitations of their physical existence. This is the gateway to deeper levels of human potential, not through deities, but through symbolic systems. It is a direct path to personal gnosis and self-mastery. As we understand, as we explore, it all exists within. So to understand this powerful, arcane system, we'll first dive into Dee's world, decode the Enochian language, explore its practical applications, and finally, break down what it all symbolizes, the hidden keys to unlock the mysteries of Enochian magic. By the end of this journey, you'll have the tools to understand and safely explore the secrets of Enochian magic for yourselves, and in doing so, unlock the hidden potential within. So, let's begin our exploration of Enochian magic and its potential to unlock the hidden dimensions of consciousness by examining the life and times of John Dee. Most portray Dee as a simple receiver, but was he also the architect, the builder of the language? It's easy to imagine Kelly whispering words while Dee furiously scribbled, but the reality is likely far more nuanced. To assume that Dee and Kelly had no prior knowledge of magical systems or linguistic structures is to ignore the intellectual climate of the time. Dee wasn't just a mystic. He was one of the foremost intellectuals of his age, entrusted with matters of state, a man whose library was legendary, containing some of the rarest and most esoteric texts known to Europe. Dee's extensive knowledge wasn't limited to dusty tomes. He was a master of mathematics, astronomy, and navigation, skills highly valued in an age of exploration. To think he stumbled blindly into Enochian magic is to ignore his careful dedication. But what drove a man of science to pursue angels? Elizabethan England was a society steeped in superstition, where belief in magic and the supernatural was widespread. Astrology charted the courses of nations. Alchemy sought to transmute base metals into gold, both literally and metaphorically, and folk magic permeated everyday life. Think of the fear of witches, the power of curses, and the omnipresent sense of unseen forces at play. In this environment, Dee sought to bridge the gap between the scientific and the spiritual, to find a rational basis for communicating with what he believed were higher intelligences, to prove divine contact. Dee and Kelly meticulously constructed a complex system, a language, a series of keys, a map of the unseen. Consider the Great Table, a massive grid of letters from which the Enochian language was derived, each intersection pregnant with symbolic meaning, representing a complex web of correspondences between the earthly and the divine. Then there are the individual keys, each a carefully constructed series of calls designed to unlock specific realms or states of consciousness. So did Dee invent it all, or was he truly receiving something from beyond? Or was it something else entirely, some deep wellspring within his own unconscious, as Jung might suggest? Could the angelic contacts be archetypes, surfacing to grant Dee's conscious mind access to greater truths? Dee sought a structured way to speak with angels, building the Enochian language brick by painstaking brick. But what was the purpose of this complex language? Was it merely a tool for communicating with celestial beings, or did it serve a deeper, more transformative function? Perhaps the structure was the point all along. Perhaps the language itself was designed to resonate with specific frequencies of consciousness, capable of altering the very fabric of reality for those who mastered it. Imagine a language where every word is a key, every phrase a spell, and every conversation a dance with the divine. At the heart of the system lies the Sigillum Dei Emoth, a complex symbol representing the structure of the universe, a microcosm of the macrocosm, as above, so below. Its intricate geometry and interwoven symbols encoded a vast body of esoteric knowledge, linking the elements, the planets, and the divine names. Then there are the elemental tablets, vast grids representing the four elements of earth, air, water, and fire, each governed by its own set of angelic rulers and possessing unique qualities and powers. These tablets form the foundation of the watchtowers, the guardians of the four cardinal directions, and each element is a key to unlocking a whole new vista. The Enochian keys, or calls, are a series of invocations written in the Enochian language, designed to activate these tablets and to open gateways to other dimensions. Finally, the Enochian calls, melodic and rhythmic incantations, are designed to vibrate the practitioner into an altered state. Through scrying sessions, Kelly would receive visions, which Dee meticulously recorded and interpreted. Kelly peered into the crystal, a portal to somewhere. What did he truly see? Dee, ever the scholar, then categorized and codified Kelly's visions. Was he documenting divine revelation or shaping raw psychic data? The Enochian system shares striking similarities with Kabbalistic concepts, suggesting a deeper connection to the Western esoteric tradition. The Tree of Life, with its 10 Sephirot representing different aspects of the divine, finds a parallel in the Enochian watchtowers, each representing a different elemental force. Both systems emphasize the importance of ascending through different levels of consciousness to achieve spiritual enlightenment. Likewise, the Hermetic principle of as above, so below resonates throughout the Enochian system, with its emphasis on the interconnectedness of all things and the mirroring of the macrocosm in the microcosm. The Great Table itself can be seen as a map of the universe, reflecting the divine order and the underlying unity of all existence. It's a beautiful clock, but how does each cog work with the rest? How do these complex components work together to create a functional system of magic? Does the language activate these watchtowers, or is there something more practical to it all? These diaries are filled with painstaking records, symbols, and complex charts that go on for days. Each entry is a testament to his dedication and a window into the mind of a man obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the universe. But is this dedication evidence of genuine communication, or simply the product of a brilliant and imaginative mind running wild? The very act of recording and categorizing these visions could have influenced their content, shaping them to fit Dee's preconceived notions or biases. Through the scrying stone, Kelly relayed visions, voices, and complex geometrical forms, while Dee transcribed every detail. But Kelly's visions were often cryptic, fragmented, and open to interpretation, making it difficult to determine their true source or meaning. Were these genuine glimpses into other realms, or the products of Kelly's own imagination, perhaps influenced by suggestion or even outright deception? The keys aren't just words. They're triggers meant to unlock different levels of awareness within the practitioner. Modern magicians adapt these keys, but for what purpose? Some use them to explore the inner landscape of their own psyche, to confront their shadow self, and to integrate repressed aspects of their personality. Others use them to connect with the collective unconscious, to tap into the shared wisdom of humanity, and to access archetypal energies. Still, others use them to journey to other dimensions, to communicate with spirits, and to explore the mysteries of the cosmos. Is this self-actualization or dangerous wish fulfillment? But how do we turn this historical data into practical use for our own internal alchemy? How do all of these pieces lead to unlocking the secrets of ourselves? Because what we will uncover next is even more shocking. This historical data possesses far more practical applications than mere intellectual stimulation, and so you may need to pay extra careful attention to reap the full benefits. The countless hours Dee devoted to meticulously transcribing symbols and keys wasn't just an academic exercise. It was a quest to unlock the very fabric of reality. How can we, as modern seekers, translate this dedication into a tangible practice that resonates with our own spiritual journeys, and how can this apply to your daily life? Is this just an interesting historical curiosity, or does it hold a key to unlocking deeper levels of consciousness? It's time to move beyond the historical narrative and delve into the practical techniques that can bring Enochian magic to life in your own experience. Let's begin with the foundation, the construction of the Enochian tablets. These aren't just pretty diagrams. They are focal points for channeling energy and intention. Imagine crafting your own version of the elemental tablets, each meticulously constructed from wood, clay, or even paper. As you inscribe the Enochian letters, visualize the corresponding elemental force: earth, air, water, or fire flowing through you, imbuing the tablet with its unique qualities. Consider the meditative aspect of this work. Each stroke of the pen, each carefully placed symbol, becomes a prayer, a mantra, a connection to the unseen realms. The specific materials chosen also contribute to the tablet's power. Wood connects to the earth, metal connects to power, and clay connects to the subconscious. A clear intention and dedicated practice can enhance the concepts and put the tablets to practical use. By engaging with this system, you are turning theory into practice, and you are creating a conduit for the elemental forces to manifest in your life. But does this all sound a little too complicated? Is it possible to simplify this complex system for personal use? Next, let's explore the Enochian keys, those evocative series of calls designed to unlock specific realms or states of consciousness. How can you use these keys to navigate the ethers and unlock higher levels of awareness? Find a quiet space, light a candle, and focus your intention. As you chant the Enochian words, allow the sounds to vibrate through your body, resonating with the very core of your being. Visualize the symbols associated with each key, allowing them to fill your mind's eye, transporting you to the corresponding realm. A tone may shift your brainwaves, a vibration may alter your perception. Experiment with different visualization techniques, such as imagining yourself ascending through the spheres of the Tree of Life or traversing the landscapes of the Enochian ethers. With practice, these keys can become powerful tools for inner exploration, allowing you to unlock hidden potentials and access deeper levels of insight and self-awareness. However, it's important to underscore that Enochian magic is not about rote memorization or verbatim incantations, but about symbolic understanding and creative adaptation. While the precise wording of the keys may hold power, their true potential lies in their ability to resonate with your own inner landscape and the inner worlds you seek to unlock. Think of two different Enochian rituals that may appear vastly different on the surface, with varying invocations, gestures, and symbolic props. Yet, beneath the surface, these rituals may share a common symbolic structure, both tapping into the same archetypal energies or addressing the same fundamental human needs. Perhaps one ritual invokes a specific angel associated with healing, while the other utilizes a planetary talisman to attract prosperity. Despite their differing approaches, both rituals ultimately seek to improve the practitioner's well-being and enhance their overall quality of life. The power lies in understanding the underlying symbolism and adapting the rituals to suit your own unique needs and intentions. The symbolic nature of this system can be a path to freedom, but what happens when freedom becomes dangerous? Now, let's confront a critical aspect of Enochian practice, the ethical considerations. Working with these powerful forces is not a game, and it's crucial to approach it with respect, responsibility, and a deep sense of self-awareness. Think of the magicians throughout history who have become consumed by their own ambition, driven by a thirst for power that ultimately led to their downfall. They may have started with noble intentions, seeking to unlock the secrets of the universe for the benefit of humanity, but somewhere along the way, they lost their way, succumbing to pride, greed, or a lust for control. Psychological instability can become a major issue when dealing with this kind of power, and corruption becomes a major risk. The pursuit of forbidden knowledge can become an all-consuming obsession, blinding them to the ethical implications of their actions. What can we do to mitigate these risks and ensure that our exploration of Enochian magic remains grounded in integrity and compassion? Are there ethical boundaries we should be aware of before venturing into the depths of Enochian magic? One of the most important tools for navigating the inner landscape of Enochian magic is psychological safety. Before you even begin to chant a single key, take the time to establish clear boundaries and protect yourself from potential harm. Think of meditation and mental clarity, grounding yourself in the present moment and cultivating a sense of inner peace. Utilize tools like the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram to create a protective sphere around yourself, warding off any unwanted energies or influences. It's vital to know your intentions, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your highest good and the well-being of all. It is crucial to be grounded in an understanding of yourself to maintain a safe state. Grounding and discernment are also key. Approach every experience with a critical and discerning eye and avoid getting lost in fantasy or wishful thinking. If a particular vision or encounter feels too good to be true, question its source. Think of different experiences with the keys and how they can dramatically alter your perception of reality. How can we self-check these experiences? Seek guidance from experienced practitioners, but ultimately trust your own intuition and inner compass. Cultivating a skeptical mindset and constantly evaluating your experiences is crucial to maintaining a balanced and healthy practice. Comparing notes with fellow practitioners can provide valuable insights and help you to identify potential pitfalls or blind spots. With these safeguards in place, how can we safely explore the keys, unlocking their transformative potential without succumbing to the dangers that lurk within? One approach is to embrace gradual immersion, slowly acclimating yourself to the energies and experiences associated with each key. Another is to focus on symbolic interpretation, viewing the keys not as literal commands, but as metaphors for inner growth and self-discovery. Avoid the temptation to control an angel or manipulate external events, and instead focus on using the keys as a tool for personal transformation, for exploring the depths of your own psyche, for aligning yourself with the divine will. The dangers of control are many, but the benefits of metaphor are infinite. Is this reinterpretation of the system a safer way to explore this powerful magic, and does it diminish the system in any way? Ultimately, we must remember that Enochian magic is primarily a symbolic system for exploring the inner landscape of consciousness. The angels, the ethers, the keys, these are not external entities or realms to be conquered, but rather aspects of our own psyche, waiting to be discovered and integrated. D's system is nothing more than a complex code for mapping and understanding the human mind and the inner workings of the human brain. Understanding the inner workings is the true path to power and not domination over the outer world. Think of the Enochian tablets not as portals to other dimensions, but as maps of our own inner terrain, guiding us through the complex landscape of our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. The symbols within these tablets are not arbitrary. They are keys to understanding the structure of reality and the interconnectedness of all things. Compare the elements to the four functions in Jungian psychology: fire representing intuition, water representing feeling, air representing thinking, and earth representing sensation. This symbol system matches Jung's system in its elegant and concise expression of complex psychological dynamics. The elements can act as a shorthand for understanding ourselves and the world around us. But how does this help you to understand the power of your mind? The keys, similarly, are not just words. They are codes that unlock deeper levels of awareness and insight. Consider the symbolism embedded within each key and how it relates to your own personal experiences, values, and aspirations. Symbolism can be a tool used for healing old wounds, attracting prosperity, or cultivating love and compassion. It allows you to apply these concepts to your daily life. When understood through symbolism, the keys serve as powerful tools for personal growth and self-discovery, and in growing these concepts, you grow as an individual. Finally, let us not forget that D and Kelly's personal insights and biases inevitably shaped their interpretation of the Enochian system. They were products of their time, influenced by the prevailing beliefs, anxieties, and aspirations of Elizabethan England. How did their worldview shape the system, and to what extent did their own personal desires and limitations color their perceptions? Consider their biases. To truly unlock the potential of Enochian magic, we must approach their work with a critical and discerning eye, applying our own perspectives, values, and experiences to the system, while always checking our work. What new perspectives can we bring to this ancient system, and how can we make it our own? But what shocking discoveries await us as we delve deeper into the structure of the system? Let's now turn our attention to the Enochian ethers. But before we do, I want you to forget everything you think you know about other dimensions. Forget traveling to other planets or astral projecting to distant galaxies. What if these realms exist not out there, but deep within the vast landscape of your own consciousness? Because that's where the true power and the true danger of the ethers reside. Instead of envisioning the ethers as literal physical locations or dimensions that one travels to, consider them as symbolic representations of psychological states or aspects of consciousness. Think of each ether as a unique state of mind, a landscape of your own inner world. Each one represents a different facet of your psyche, a different aspect of your personality, a different potential for growth and transformation. Are they real places? Perhaps, but their reality is rooted in the reality of your own inner experience. Each ether can be related to the Kabbalistic tree of life, with each sphere representing a different aspect of the divine, and each path representing a different connection between those aspects. Similarly, each ether can be seen as a unique expression of these archetypal energies. To explore the ethers is to explore the very structure of your soul. The potential for self-discovery becomes endless, but is it safe? Now, let's talk about scrying or visionary journeying within the ethers. This isn't about astral projection or remote viewing in the traditional sense. The journey isn't about seeing things out there, but understanding what the visions mean for you, for your personal growth and your spiritual evolution. The key lies in symbolic interpretation and self-reflection. What do the images, the sounds, the entities you encounter represent within your own psyche. What aspects of yourself are they mirroring back to you? How can you integrate these experiences into your daily life? Think of it as a form of dream analysis, but with a conscious intention and a structured framework. By analyzing your dreams, you can achieve a greater insight into your subconscious. But why do this with the ethers instead? It's crucial to acknowledge that Dee and Kelly's personal biases and cultural context inevitably influenced their experiences within the ethers. They saw angels because that's what they expected to see. That was their cultural framework, their understanding of the universe. But what do you expect? What are your own biases and preconceptions? How might they be shaping your experiences? Bias can be a powerful force, shaping our perceptions, our beliefs, and our actions. But by becoming aware of our biases, we can begin to transcend them, to see the world with greater clarity and objectivity. The true challenge is to approach the ethers with an open mind, to be willing to question our assumptions, and to embrace the unknown. Can we ever truly escape our own biases? So, if the ethers are inner states, how can we navigate them safely and effectively? If these are parts of yourself, how can you be a good explorer, a responsible steward of your own consciousness? The answer lies in respect, safety, and boundaries. Just as you would treat a physical landscape with care and consideration, so too must you treat your inner landscape with reverence and responsibility. Remember, mental and spiritual health are paramount. The ethers are not a playground for the reckless or the unprepared. They are powerful forces that can either elevate or destroy, depending on how they are approached. But what happens if we approach the ethers through language? Let's explore the Enochian calls. But let's immediately abandon the common view of the Enochian calls as simple incantations designed to summon or command spirits. These aren't magic words to boss around angels. They are keys to unlocking internal states, codes to activate specific aspects of your consciousness. And let's be honest, the existence of angels is far from a certainty. What if the angels are simply archetypal energies, forces within the human psyche, or the collective unconscious? The Enochian calls, then, become a means of accessing and activating these energies, of harnessing their power for personal transformation. And this is about personal power, not external control. So why does everyone get this so wrong? Reinterpret the calls as linguistic keys to activate specific states of consciousness or unlock specific archetypal energies. Each call is a carefully crafted program to activate a specific part of your mind. Think of the linguistic structure of the calls, the specific sounds, rhythms, and intonations. These aren't arbitrary. They are designed to resonate with particular frequencies within your brain to trigger specific neural pathways. Consider how music creates emotion, how a certain melody can evoke feelings of joy, sadness, or nostalgia. The Enochian calls work in a similar way, but on a much deeper level. They are designed to bypass the conscious mind and directly access the subconscious, to unlock hidden potentials and transform your very being. Can the proper pronunciation unlock more power? Consider the importance of pronunciation and intonation in the Enochian calls. A slight shift in tone can create a dramatically different effect. Each word can be shifted and morphed, its meaning subtly altered by the way it is spoken. This isn't about rote memorization, but about finding the right vibration, the right resonance within your own voice. The true power of the calls lies not in their literal meaning, but in their ability to resonate with your own inner landscape. The way you pronounce each word, the way you feel each vibration, will shape your experience and determine the outcome of your work. Experiment, listen, feel, let the calls become a part of you. Think about how the Enochian calls can be used in conjunction with other practices such as meditation, visualization, and breathwork to enhance their effects. Using the calls with breathwork creates a massive shift in consciousness. Meditation helps keep the mind focused, preventing it from wandering and allowing the subtle energies of the calls to take root. Visualization can open portals in the mind, creating pathways for these energies to flow. The combined effect is a synergistic amplification of power, allowing you to achieve states of consciousness that would be otherwise impossible. Integrating Enochian magic with other spiritual disciplines creates a richer and more holistic approach, maximizing its transformative potential. However, what happens when we forget the importance of intent? And this brings us to a core question: what happens when the calls are misinterpreted? What happens when these calls are treated as a game, as a means of simply summoning spirits or manipulating external events? The answer is chaos. Possible risks far outweigh the potential rewards, and maintaining safety becomes an almost impossible task. When misused, the calls can open doors that are best left closed, unleashing forces that are beyond your control. This is not a system to be trifled with, but a sacred practice that demands respect, responsibility, and unwavering ethical intention. It's a system that allows self-exploration and internal growth, but can the practitioners live up to the power? Let's consider a few examples of practitioners. First, we have Aleister Crowley. Focus on his use of Enochian magic for personal transformation and spiritual exploration, as detailed in his writings and diaries. Crowley used the calls as a way to explode his consciousness, to push the boundaries of human experience and unlock the secrets of the universe. His history with the material is well documented, and the results he obtained are undeniable. He may have been a controversial figure, but he was undoubtedly a master of Enochian magic. He provides a case study of a modern practitioner who used the system to its full potential, a person who has been well documented throughout history, who has allowed his name to become synonymous with the occult and the dark arts. But what are we to make of his work? Then we have Israel Regardie. Discuss his emphasis on the psychological aspects of Enochian magic and his integration of Jungian psychology into his practice. Regardie helped bridge the gap between ceremonial magic and therapy, recognizing that true spiritual growth requires psychological integration. He understood the importance of therapy, of confronting one's own shadow, and of integrating the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche. His techniques provide a valuable framework for understanding and working with the psychological dimensions of Enochian magic, seeing himself as something of a revolutionary in making these teachings more accessible and relevant for a modern audience. But he was not the only one who had a vision for how to help people. And finally, we have Lon-Milo Duquette. Focus on his humorous and accessible approach to Enochian magic and his emphasis on experimentation and self-discovery. Duquette has a fun take on serious subjects, making them approachable and demystifying what can often seem like a dark art. He understands the importance of a light heart, of not taking oneself too seriously, and of approaching the practice with a sense of playfulness and curiosity. The risks of taking it too seriously are numerous, and Duquette provides a valuable counterbalance, reminding us that magic should be an enjoyable and liberating experience. How can his methods be as effective as Crowley's? But what happens when the practitioner isn't as successful? Not everyone is capable of working with the system. The risks of hubris are significant, and the importance of experience cannot be overstated. The system can be unforgiving, punishing those who approach it with arrogance or disrespect. It demands humility, patience, and a willingness to learn from one's mistakes. It demands a deep understanding of oneself, one's limitations, and one's potential. Without these qualities, the practitioner is doomed to failure or worse. The dangers of misinterpretation, of losing oneself in the visions, are very real. But what are these dangers exactly? Let's now discuss the dangers of misinterpretation and psychological imbalance. Emphasize the potential for psychological imbalance and mental instability when working with Enochian magic without proper training and preparation. The system can create instability, stirring up powerful emotions, unconscious complexes, and unresolved traumas. This can manifest as anxiety, depression, paranoia, or even psychosis. It's crucial to have a strong foundation of mental health before embarking on this path, and to seek professional help if needed. Preventative measures are essential, including regular meditation, grounding exercises, and a supportive network of friends and family. The point of this system is to help the mind, but it can also hurt it. Spiritual delusion is another significant risk. Discuss the risk of spiritual delusion and the importance of maintaining a critical and discerning perspective when interpreting visions and experiences. It's easy to get lost in the visions, to mistake them for reality, and to become convinced that you are a chosen one, a prophet, or a messiah. Reality checking the visions is crucial, grounding them in the everyday world and questioning their validity. The need to keep your feet on the ground, to maintain a sense of perspective, cannot be overstated. Without this, you risk losing touch with reality and descending into madness. Even in the best-case scenarios, there can be a lack of grounding, but is that the worst thing that can happen? Ethical lapses can be all too common. Highlight the potential for ethical lapses and the importance of acting with responsibility and compassion when working with Enochian magic. The system is not about power over others, but about empowering oneself. Avoid the pitfall of using the magic to manipulate, control, or harm others. Strive to do what is right, to act with integrity, and to use your power for the benefit of all. Remember that your actions have consequences and that you will be held accountable for them, whether in this life or the next. The power of Enochian magic can be seductive, but true power lies in ethical action. But what happens when you lose yourself in the magic? Misinterpreting the system can create problems with the mind. Misunderstanding can lead to losing yourself. The dangers of losing yourself, of becoming consumed by the magic, are significant. Remember who you are, what your values are, and what your purpose is in life. Take breaks from the practice, engage in activities that ground you, and maintain connections with friends and family. The system is a tool, not a destination. Use it wisely and do not let it consume you. And how exactly can we use it wisely? We'll explore this in our next segment. But how exactly can we use it wisely? What if the keys to unlocking Enochian's true potential lie not in summoning external entities, but in deciphering the very fabric of reality itself? Because the Enochian tablets, often viewed merely as tools for conjuration, may in fact be complex geometric representations of the underlying principles that govern our universe. What if Dee and Kelly stumbled upon a profound codification of reality's building blocks, perhaps without fully grasping the implications themselves? Consider the Enochian tablets not just as grids of letters, but as intricate arrangements of geometric patterns and numerical sequences. These tablets are not random. They contain specific, ordered relationships between the letters and numbers within them. Dee, meticulously recording these patterns, may have unknowingly codified a deeper structure, a geometric language that speaks to the very essence of existence. Was Dee onto something far grander than he ever imagined, a blueprint of creation itself hidden within the angelic communications? And what could this mean for our understanding of the universe and our place within it? The presence of sacred geometry is prevalent in various cultures and esoteric traditions throughout history, each offering its unique perspective on the relationship between form and consciousness. Think of the intricate mandalas of Eastern traditions, each a carefully constructed geometric representation of the cosmos, designed to focus the mind and facilitate meditation. Or consider the geometric patterns found in nature, from the spiral arrangement of sunflower seeds to the hexagonal structure of honeycombs, each reflecting underlying mathematical principles and universal harmonies. Does the Enochian system simply reflect the human mind, or does it represent universal principles? Let's analyze specific geometric patterns within the Enochian tablets themselves to truly get to the bottom of this. Observe the arrangement of letters within the elemental squares or the structure of the watchtowers, and you'll see more than simple grids. You'll see deliberate, ordered patterns that echo geometric principles. The tablets contain many arrangements of letters and numbers that at first glance seem meaningless, but upon further inspection reveal intentional patterns. Are these just happy accidents, or do they hold a deeper significance? When we connect these patterns to concepts in physics or mathematics, a new layer of understanding begins to emerge. Consider the golden ratio, that ubiquitous mathematical constant found throughout nature and art, or the Fibonacci sequence, that seemingly magical progression that appears in everything from the arrangement of leaves on a stem to the spiral arms of galaxies. Could these same principles be encoded within the Enochian tablets, hinting at a deeper connection between the microcosm and the macrocosm? It is also worth noting that quantum physics proposes that at the subatomic level, reality isn't made of matter, but probabilistic wave functions. Could the Enochian tablets be a map of this quantum foam? And what does this mean for human understanding? If Enochian magic can be considered a form of geometry, a map of reality's underlying structure, how might this knowledge affect the mind of the practitioner? Think of a building, carefully designed with specific geometric principles to ensure its stability and longevity. If those principles are flawed, the building will crumble. Similarly, our minds are structured in certain ways, and these structures can be either strengthened or weakened by the patterns and information we expose ourselves to. How can this influence consciousness? So let's dive deeper and introduce the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This isn't some esoteric theory, it's a scientifically proven fact that our brains are constantly changing, adapting, and rewiring themselves in response to our experiences. It's what allows us to learn new skills, overcome challenges, and even recover from brain injuries. But what if we could consciously harness this power of neuroplasticity to transform our minds and expand our awareness? And crucially, how might Enochian magic play a role in this process? Enochian practices, when approached with intention and understanding, have the potential to rewire neural pathways, to disrupt habitual thought patterns, and to forge new connections in the brain. Just as learning a new language can create new neural pathways, altering the very structure of our brains, so too can the study and practice of Enochian magic. The new pathways break down old structures. The repetitive and intensive nature of the practices help build new, stronger neural pathways. Is this how Enochian brain hacks old modes of thought? Consider specific Enochian techniques, such as the chanting of the Enochian calls or the visualization of the Enochian tablets, and how they can be used to stimulate neuroplasticity. Chanting, with its rhythmic repetition of specific sounds and vibrations, can induce a state of entrainment, synchronizing brainwave patterns and promoting heightened focus and awareness. Visualization, with its creation of vivid mental imagery, can activate specific brain regions, strengthening neural connections and fostering new insights. How can we combine these methods for maximum effect? Consider the geometric patterns of the Enochian tablets from the previous section and how they might relate to the activation of specific brain regions. Different geometric forms resonate with different areas of the brain, stimulating specific neural pathways and unlocking dormant potentials. These patterns are more than just abstract designs. They are keys to unlocking specific cognitive functions and expanding our conscious awareness. Does this mean that the Enochian system can provide precise tools for rewiring the brain? Let's push this a bit further. What if the Enochian calls can help restructure the mind, much like coding a new program for a computer? Think of the calls as lines of code, each designed to perform a specific function within the overall system of consciousness. By reciting these calls with intention and focus, we are essentially rewriting our mental programming, deleting old, outdated systems, and installing new, more efficient ones. Can we literally reprogram our minds with the Enochian calls? But let's not forget the angels. Let's challenge the literal interpretation of angels as external entities and instead present them as archetypal forces or aspects of the human psyche to free ourselves from dogma. After all, angels are most often symbolic. Just as Jungian archetypes represent universal patterns of human behavior and experience, so too can the Enochian angels be seen as symbolic representations of our inner landscape. These angels are messengers from the unconscious, guides on our journey of self-discovery, and mirrors reflecting back to us our own hidden potentials and limitations. How can we see these angels as forces within ourselves? Draw parallels between Enochian angels and Jungian archetypes, such as the shadow, that repository of repressed emotions and unacceptable impulses, the anima animus, those representations of the feminine and masculine principles within each of us, and the self, the unifying center of the psyche. Each Enochian angel can be seen as a specific expression of these archetypal energies, a unique facet of our own inner being. Can you control these inner forces? When we relate Enochian forces to the Kabbalistic Sephirot, we begin to see the shared symbolism and energetic principles that underlie both systems. Just as the tree of life can be considered a map of the human psyche, with each Sephira representing a different aspect of the divine, so too can the Enochian angels be seen as corresponding to these Sephirotic emanations. Perhaps the angels and Sephirot are one and the same, different expressions of the same underlying forces. If the tree of life is a map of the mind, can Enochian magic move us through it? Take, for instance, how one ether might be related to depression, another to aggression, and yet another to love. By understanding these connections, we can begin to use the Enochian system as a tool for self-diagnosis, identifying the psychological traits or emotional states that are dominant within us. But what happens when they are in conflict? By working with these angelic energies, practitioners are essentially engaging in a form of self-transformation, integrating different aspects of their own being and moving toward greater wholeness and balance. Integration is necessary for psychological health. The angelic system can help find parts of the personality, the parts that have been repressed or disowned, bringing them into the light of consciousness and integrating them into the overall personality. How does one begin this integration? And this brings us to the future of Enochian magic. Can it be a valuable tool for consciousness exploration and personal growth in the modern age? Inner exploration brings us face to face with our limitations, forcing us to confront our fears, our insecurities, and our shadow selves. It is through this process of confrontation and integration that we can begin to transcend our limitations and realize our full potential. How can we accept these limitations? However, ethical considerations remain paramount. Responsible exploration becomes critical. The potential for both positive and negative outcomes is very real. We must be mindful of the power we wield and the impact it can have on ourselves and others. The dangers of misuse are significant. We must approach it all with respect and intention. Without respect, we become the very demons we claim to be fighting. And what if Enochian is simply a language to reprogram the mind? What if these keys that documented serve the very purpose of unlocking and rewriting code that has been laid dormant for centuries, passed down through the ages? What if the architect of our minds lies in the very words we speak, in the symbols we embrace, in the structure we build within ourselves? Navigating the Enochian system demands critical thinking and personal experience. Dee and Kelly were products of their time, influenced by their own biases and preconceptions. It is essential to approach the system with a scientific mindset, questioning everything, experimenting with different techniques, and drawing your own conclusions based on your own experiences. How can we improve upon Dee's model? So let's tie these threads together. Enochian magic, when approached with understanding, respect, and a willingness to question everything, can be a powerful catalyst for self-discovery, inner healing, and consciousness expansion. But it's not a simple path, and it's not without its risks. It demands courage, honesty, and a commitment to ethical action. But the potential rewards are well worth the effort, unlocking the secrets of the universe and transforming ourselves into the masters of our own destiny. But can we really master our own destinies? And what role does Enochian play in unlocking the riddles of time itself? Are the Enochian squares simply tools for contacting angels, or are they something far more profound, perhaps complex keys to unlocking the hidden potential of the mind? What if these intricate grids aren't meant to control external forces, but rather to focus and direct our own internal energies, acting as symbolic maps of our inner landscapes. Let us therefore reframe our understanding of these tablets, not as instruments of conjuration, but as sophisticated tools for focused intention and self-discovery. Think of the Enochian squares as symbolic maps of specific energetic or psychological territories within ourselves. Each square, with its unique arrangement of letters and symbols, can be related to a different region of the brain, a different aspect of our personality, or a different emotional state. By focusing our attention on a particular square, we can access and explore these inner territories, gaining insights into our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. Just as a cartographer uses a map to navigate unfamiliar terrain, so too can we use the Enochian squares to navigate the complex landscape of our inner world. This approach builds upon the theme of neuroplasticity introduced earlier, suggesting that by working with these squares, we can actively rewire our brains and expand our conscious awareness. What we must ask ourselves is whether or not we can use these ancient symbols to bring ourselves into a new state of understanding. The method of constructing and charging Enochian squares is itself a powerful exercise in focused intention and symbolic resonance. To create your own tablet, begin by carefully drawing the square on a piece of parchment or paper, paying close attention to the precise arrangement of letters and symbols. As you draw, visualize the energetic or psychological territory that the square represents, infusing it with your own intention and personal meaning. Once the square is complete, you can charge it by meditating upon it, chanting its associated Enochian words, or performing a ritual to activate its energies. This process of creation and charging is not merely a mechanical exercise. It is an act of conscious co-creation, where we collaborate with the symbols themselves to bring forth their hidden potentials. However, there are challenges inherent in this system, and Dee's interpretation may not resonate with everyone. Each person may perceive something different within these squares, based on their own unique experiences, beliefs, and cultural background. Can we really find a method that works for us, or is this too subjective? But what can we actually do with these tablets? Let us look into some options. One powerful application of the Enochian squares is for focused meditation and contemplation. By gazing upon a square and allowing our minds to quiet, we can access deeper states of awareness and gain insights into the nature of reality itself. Choose a square that resonates with you, relax your body, and focus your attention on its intricate patterns. Observe the way the letters and symbols interact with each other, and allow your mind to wander freely without judgment or expectation. As you meditate, you may begin to experience subtle shifts in your consciousness, a sense of expanded awareness, or a feeling of connection to something larger than yourself. This is because the squares are not merely visual stimuli. They are keys that unlock the hidden potentials within our own minds. Another powerful application of the Enochian squares is as a tool for shadow work and integrating repressed aspects of the self. Connect with the parts of your shadow to truly understand yourself. Each of us carries within us a shadow self, a repository of repressed emotions, unacceptable impulses, and disowned aspects of our personality. By working with the Enochian squares, we can bring these hidden aspects of ourselves into the light of consciousness, acknowledging them, accepting them, and integrating them into our overall personality. Work with the squares related to anger, depression, and sadness, and allow those energies to be acknowledged. This process of integration is essential for psychological health and spiritual growth, allowing us to become more whole, more authentic, and more fully ourselves. The Enochian squares can also be used for creative inspiration and problem solving, unlocking new perspectives and generating innovative solutions. When faced with a complex issue or a creative block, select a square that seems relevant to the problem and allow yourself to be guided by its symbolic energies. By using the squares, new angles of perspective can be found. Visualize the square in your mind's eye and ask it to reveal the hidden connections, the unexpected insights, and the novel solutions that lie dormant within your subconscious. Approach these tablets with respect, recognizing them as powerful tools of the mind. Do not take them lightly. Respect their potential to influence your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. If we take these things into account, what are the long-term results? With consistent work, one may find an increase in inner awareness. As your mind opens, your personal power will increase, giving you the ability to not only shape yourself, but the world around you. This happens because Enochian squares are more than just the sum of their parts. They represent keys to unlocking mental power, and they are not to be taken lightly. But how do we learn the symbolic language held within? What if the symbols themselves hold a deeper truth? Now that we've seen how the Enochian squares can be used to unlock mental power and delve into the hidden recesses of our minds, let us turn our attention to another key component of the Enochian system, the elemental tablets. But are these tablets simply tools for controlling elemental forces, as some might believe, or do they hold a deeper significance, a more profound key to understanding ourselves? What if, instead of viewing them as portals to external realms, we see them as sophisticated psychological models, maps of our inner energies and functions? Let's propose a new interpretation, then, one that aligns with the central thesis of inner exploration. Think of the elemental tablets as maps of the psyche, providing invaluable insights into the multifaceted aspects of our consciousness, our individual personalities, and even our habitual behaviors. In this model, each element, air, fire, water, and earth, corresponds to specific psychological functions, mirroring the framework laid out by Carl Jung. Air, in this context, represents intellectual clarity, the power of communication, and the realm of thought itself. Fire embodies intuition, the spark of inspiration, and the driving force of our passions. Water signifies emotions, the ebb and flow of our feelings, and the intricate web of our relationships. And earth, finally, represents practicality, grounding, and the connection to our physical sensations. Can we truly understand ourselves? Can we fully master our internal world without a map to guide us through the labyrinth of the mind? This brings us to the scope of our current exploration, to uncover practical methods for using the elemental tablets as tools for self-discovery, for personal growth, and ultimately for profound psychological transformation. We will delve into specific techniques for working with each element, not to command external forces, but rather to cultivate corresponding psychological strengths and address the inevitable inner imbalances that we all face. Our focus will be on personal evolution, on the expansion of consciousness, and on the realization of our full potential, not on the acquisition of external power or the manipulation of the physical world. Is it possible, then, that the true power of Enochian magic lies not in its ability to control spirits, but in its capacity to unlock the hidden potentials within ourselves? So how can these elemental tablets be used as tools for psychological transformation and profound self-discovery? That is the central question that will guide us through the remainder of this exploration. To begin, let's delve into a more detailed explanation of each element and its psychological correspondences, providing specific, relatable examples of how these energies manifest in our everyday lives. Air, as we've noted, manifests as our thoughts, our ideas, and our ability to achieve clarity of mind. Fire ignites our passions, fuels our creativity, and informs our intuition. Water shapes our feelings, colors our emotions, and governs our relationships. Earth grounds us in our sensations, anchors us in practicality, and connects us to the present moment. But how do we translate these abstract concepts into concrete practices? Let's consider the process of constructing and charging an elemental tablet. This isn't merely a craft project. It's a ritual act of focused intention and symbolic resonance. Begin by carefully drawing the tablet on a piece of parchment or paper, paying meticulous attention to the specific arrangement of symbols and colors associated with the element. As you draw, visualize the psychological qualities of the element, infusing the tablet with your intention to cultivate those qualities within yourself. For example, while creating an air tablet, visualize the free flow of thought, the clarity of communication, and the ability to articulate your ideas with precision. While creating a fire tablet, visualize the burning passion of creativity, the spark of intuition, and the unwavering force of your will. The act of creation itself is a way to focus your intent. Charging it with respectful intention shows reverence for the psychological functions you are engaging with. Is this respect not the key to unlocking the transformative power of these ancient symbols? Once your tablet is constructed, the next step is to meditate upon it, allowing its symbolic energy to permeate your consciousness. Find a quiet space where you can relax and focus your attention. Gaze upon the tablet, allowing your eyes to soften and your mind to quiet. Visualize the element in its purest form, the free flow of air, the roaring blaze of fire, the tranquil depths of water, the fertile abundance of earth. Allow yourself to be immersed in the qualities of the element, feeling its energy resonate within your own being. Connect your breath with the qualities of the element, breathing in clarity with air, passion with fire, tranquility with water, and grounding with earth. This process is visualization, connects us to the ethers. Can we truly know the mind without visualization? To further deepen your connection with the elements, consider relating them to other esoteric and psychological ideas. For example, the four elements can be linked to the four temperaments: sanguine, choleric, melancholic, and phlegmatic, providing insights into your own personality traits and behavioral patterns. The sanguine temperament, associated with air, is characterized by optimism, sociability, and intellectual curiosity. The choleric temperament, linked to fire, is marked by ambition, energy, and a tendency towards assertiveness. The melancholic temperament, aligned with water, is often associated with sensitivity, introspection, and a capacity for deep emotion. And the phlegmatic temperament, connected to earth, is characterized by calmness, practicality, and a grounded approach to life. Finding the element associated with your temperament can create a sense of balance. Further, the four elements can also be connected to Jung's four functions of consciousness: thinking, feeling, intuition, and sensation. Just as the elements can be cultivated and balanced through meditation and visualization, so too can these functions be enhanced through focused intention and conscious practice. Does the key to psychological balance lie in aligning ourselves with the elements, both within and without? Now that we understand the basics of working with the elemental tablets, let's see how these principles can be applied in practice, transforming the psyche and unlocking new potentials for personal growth. Let us begin with an example of working with the air tablet to develop intellectual clarity, improve communication skills, and overcome limiting beliefs related to self-expression. Imagine someone who struggles with expressing their thoughts clearly, someone who feels misunderstood or unheard. How could they benefit from working with the air tablet? By meditating on the symbols of air, by visualizing the free flow of thought, and by consciously practicing clear and concise communication, they can begin to unlock their intellectual potential and find their voice. This practice uses the air tablet for improved thought, but can other tablets help with psychological problems? Indeed they can. Water imbalance and emotional outbursts, earth imbalance and addiction, fire imbalance and burnout, and air imbalance and anxiety are but a few examples of what happens when the psychological functions are out of balance. These imbalances can cause common problems, but the elemental tablets can fix them. Is this not the core goal of alchemy? These techniques can unlock new psychological possibilities. The visualization with fire inspires creation, air meditation calms anxiety, earth grounding creates balance, and water meditation builds relations. Can these techniques work with neuroplasticity? They can, and we'll dive deeper into this later. But what of additional examples? Overcoming fear with the fire tablet, working with depression using the water tablet, and working with addiction using the earth tablet further broaden the possible scenarios and cement this idea. By now, we can easily reinforce the core thesis, emphasizing that the elemental tablets are, at their heart, tools for inner work, self-discovery, and psychological transformation. All change comes from within, so focus on the mind. By mastering these tablets, and by learning to harness the power of the elements within ourselves, we can begin to consciously create our own destinies. However, is it truly this simple? What happens when we delve deeper into the ethers, the realms beyond the elements? But are these entities simply external forces to be commanded, or could they represent something far more intimate, a reflection of the hidden landscapes within our own minds? What if the angels and demons of Enochian magic are not beings from distant realms, but rather symbolic keys to unlocking the vast potential and confronting the shadowy corners of our own psyche? Let's propose a new interpretation, then, one that reframes these entities as symbolic representations of our own internal energies, psychological complexes, and the archetypal forces that shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Instead of viewing them as autonomous beings with their own agendas, consider the possibility that they are projections of our subconscious minds, reflections of aspects of ourselves that we may not be fully aware of or have yet integrated into our conscious awareness. This shift in perspective opens up a new avenue for understanding and working with Enochian magic, transforming it from a system of external control into a powerful tool for inner exploration and self-discovery. Thus, by turning inward, are we not truly looking outward? This brings us to the scope of our current exploration, to delve into the potential for using Enochian entities as tools for self-analysis, psychological integration, and spiritual growth. We will explore specific techniques for working with these symbols to understand different facets of the self, address inner conflicts, and unlock hidden potentials, not to gain dominion over external forces, but rather to cultivate inner harmony and realize our true selves. This approach is not about wielding power over others or manipulating the external world. It's about personal transformation, about expanding our consciousness, and about realizing the fullness of our potential as human beings. And so, does the map truly represent the territory? How then can Enochian entities be understood and utilized as tools for navigating the inner landscape of the human psyche? To answer this central question, let us first turn to the work of Carl Jung and his theory of archetypes, which provides a valuable framework for understanding the symbolic nature of these entities and their potential for psychological transformation. Can the entities that decontacted truly be the archetypes that Jung wrote about? Briefly, let us define Jungian archetypes as universal, primordial patterns of behavior, thought, and emotion that reside in the collective unconscious, that shared reservoir of human experience that transcends individual consciousness. These archetypes are not individual personalities, but rather symbolic representations of fundamental human experiences, such as birth, death, love, power, and transformation. Think of them as the building blocks of the human psyche, the universal themes that resonate across cultures and throughout history. The shadow, for instance, represents our repressed desires, instincts, and emotions, those aspects of ourselves that we tend to deny or reject. The anima and animus represent the feminine and masculine aspects of the self, respectively, those qualities that we tend to project onto others. The self represents the totality of the psyche, the integrated whole that encompasses all aspects of our being. The persona is the mask we present to the world, our social identity, and the trickster embodies chaos, change, and the disruption of the status quo. How do the Enochian entities relate? Drawing parallels between specific Enochian entities and Jungian archetypes can illuminate their shared characteristics and symbolic meanings, providing a deeper understanding of their potential for psychological transformation. For example, a fiery, powerful Enochian entity might be connected to the archetype of the shadow, representing repressed desires, instincts, and emotions. This entity could embody the raw, untamed energy that we often try to suppress, but which holds the key to our vitality and passion. A wise, nurturing Enochian entity might be connected to the archetype of the anima or animus, representing the feminine or masculine aspects of the self. This entity could embody the qualities of intuition, compassion, and creativity that we often associate with the opposite gender, but which are essential for wholeness and balance. The purpose here is not to reduce these entities to mere psychological constructs, but rather to understand how they relate to these fundamental patterns of human experience, grounding them in established psychological frameworks and making them more accessible and relatable. Thus, in the language of angels, are we not truly speaking to ourselves? By engaging with these symbolic representations, practitioners can gain a deeper understanding of their own strengths, weaknesses, fears, and aspirations. For instance, an Enochian entity associated with communication might represent the practitioner's ability to express themselves clearly and effectively. An entity associated with healing might represent their capacity for self-care and emotional well-being. These angels, then, may be aspects of the personality, such as intuition, emotion, or creativity, forces that shape our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. By recognizing and integrating these forces, we can begin to harness their power for personal growth and self-transformation. Through this, can we truly know what makes us whole? Consider the example of a practitioner who struggles with anger and aggression. They might choose to work with an Enochian entity associated with fire and passion, but also with destruction and chaos. By visualizing the entity, engaging in dialogue with it, or creating artwork inspired by its symbolism, they can begin to explore the hidden aspects of their shadow, confronting their repressed emotions and understanding the root causes of their anger. Through this process, they might discover that their anger is a manifestation of unmet needs, unresolved traumas, or a lack of self-acceptance. By acknowledging and integrating these emotions, they can begin to heal their inner wounds and develop healthier ways of expressing their feelings. In this way, by confronting these energies, new insight can be found, transforming destructive patterns into constructive ones. How else can this system apply? Let's reinforce that the primary goal of working with Enochian entities is not to gain external power or control, but rather to facilitate personal growth, self-discovery, and spiritual evolution. It's about integrating the self, not dominating others. The focus should always be on cultivating inner harmony, expanding consciousness, and realizing our full potential as human beings. This requires a deep sense of respect, mindfulness, and ethical consideration. In essence, it is the same as the alchemical great work. Is this not the most difficult, yet most rewarding path? To safely and effectively engage with Enochian entities, it's essential to approach the practice with respect, mindfulness, and ethical awareness. Start with meditation and visualization exercises, creating a safe and sacred space where you can connect with the entities on a deeper level. It's vital to never force communication or try to control the entities against their will. Remember that these are not mindless servants, but rather complex symbolic representations of powerful energies. By approaching them with humility and reverence, you can open yourself up to profound insights and transformative experiences. But what if these entities can't help with psychological problems? Even so, it can. Imagine working with an entity associated with creativity to overcome creative blocks and unlock your artistic potential. This might involve visualizing the entity, listening to music inspired by its symbolism, or simply spending time in nature, allowing the entity's energy to inspire your imagination. Art can include music, painting, writing, dance, and any other form of creative expression. Or consider working with an entity associated with healing to address physical or emotional ailments and promote well-being. This might involve meditating on the entity's image, reciting affirmations inspired by its symbolism, or simply visualizing its healing energy flowing through your body. Remember that these symbols relate to the whole self, mind, and body, and that by working with them, you can begin to heal and transform every aspect of your being. Is there no end to the healing? The transformative potential of working with Enochian entities lies in their ability to unlock deeper levels of awareness, access hidden dimensions of reality, and facilitate profound personal change. By engaging with these symbols, we can begin to rewire our brains, creating new neural pathways and expanding our capacity for understanding and compassion. In short, it's a method to rewire the brain, allowing us to break free from limiting beliefs, overcome destructive patterns, and realize our full potential as human beings. In turn, this will make you a new person, transforming you from the inside out and allowing you to create a life of purpose, meaning, and joy. By integrating these forces, we unlock new futures. Is this the goal of the great work? Emphasizing the importance of integrating the insights and experiences gained through working with Enochian entities into one's everyday life becomes crucial. It would do well to consider the dangers of becoming too engrossed in the inner world and neglecting one's responsibilities, relationships, and physical well-being. To this end, provide practical tips for grounding oneself in reality, maintaining a balanced perspective, and applying the lessons learned through Enochian practice to concrete situations and challenges. This can include regular exercise, spending time in nature, engaging in creative activities, and cultivating meaningful relationships. By integrating these practices into our lives, we can ensure that our Enochian work contributes to our overall well-being, rather than becoming an escape from reality. Is there a point where inner reflection becomes maladaptive? With that in mind, by embodying these virtues, practitioners can ensure that their Enochian practice contributes to their own well-being and the well-being of the world around them. The goal, after all, is not about power, but community, about creating a world where everyone can thrive. By approaching Enochian magic with positive intention, we can transform it from a potentially dangerous system into a powerful force for good, helping us to heal ourselves, our relationships, and our world. With this positive intention, we begin to reach enlightenment. How then can we relate to the future of the system? Thus, with these powers in mind, how can we relate this knowledge to the world? Let us turn to the future of the system and to where Enochian magic might be going. Let us consider, then, that the conventional understanding of the Enochian language frames it as a means of communicating with angels through specific vocabulary and grammar. But what if this is a fundamental misunderstanding, limiting our access to its true potential? What if the true nature of this language is not to communicate with outside forces, but to entrain the mind into different states? Let's propose a reinterpretation, then, of Enochian as a symbolic code designed to bypass the conscious mind and access deeper levels of the unconscious. Consider that the true power of the language lies not in its literal meaning, but in its ability to act as a symbolic trigger, unlocking hidden potentials within the psyche. For is it not through the symbolic that the subconscious speaks? This is not about talking to something external, but about altering one's state of mind, a subtle yet profound shift in perspective that transforms the language from a mere communication tool to a key for unlocking inner realms. The conventional view, after all, assumes a separation between the self and the divine, but what if the Enochian language is a path to realizing their fundamental unity? Indeed, language as understood by the conscious mind can become a barrier to the unconscious, a filter that shapes our perception of reality. Normal language, with its everyday structure and associations, reinforces our ordinary state of consciousness and thus everyday reality. However, symbolic language, such as that found in Enochian magic, can help one break free from these limitations, opening doors to new perspectives and deeper insights, serving as a key for unlocking hidden chambers of the mind. This language, then, acts as a program running in the mind, a set of instructions that can alter our perception and understanding. Consider the power of a computer program. It is not simply a set of words, but a series of commands that instruct the computer to perform specific actions. Similarly, the Enochian language can be utilized to rewire how we relate to the world, reprogramming our subconscious beliefs and behaviors. By learning the language, one can unlock hidden potentials of the mind. It is in this way that one can come to utilize the language as a tool for understanding different aspects of the self, addressing the conscious mind, altering psychological states, and connecting to the hidden structure of the universe. Preparing the user, then, to apply this system to their life and awareness becomes paramount. But how can we use the Enochian language, this system of symbolic triggers and mental programming, to enhance our awareness and transform our lives? Can we take this and apply it to our spiritual development? This question will guide the rest of this section, inviting us to explore the practical applications of the Enochian language as a tool for self-discovery and personal growth. And as we explore, we must remember the importance of safety. Let us now turn our attention to the significance of sound and vibration in altering states of consciousness and accessing hidden dimensions of reality. This is not a new concept. Indeed, sound has been used for millennia to induce trance states and connect with the divine, for in the beginning was there not the word. Consider the use of chanting and toning in various spiritual traditions, from the Gregorian chants of Christianity to the mantras of Hinduism and Buddhism. These practices harness the power of sound to quiet the mind, open the heart, and facilitate a connection with something greater than oneself. For sound is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Consider, also, how tones relate to the body through the chakras, those energy centers that govern our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. By using specific tones and vibrations, we can balance and harmonize these chakras, promoting healing, well-being, and spiritual growth. Let's analyze, then, the unique phonetic qualities of the Enochian language, emphasizing its potential to bypass the logical mind and access deeper levels of awareness through the power of sound. The language uses very specific phonetic sounds, seemingly alien to the modern ear, but perhaps resonating with something ancient within our subconscious. These sounds, when intoned correctly, can create unique vibrations in the mind, altering our brainwave patterns and shifting our state of consciousness. For is it not through vibration that all things are connected? This creates a framework for understanding why the sounds are important, not just as words, but as keys to unlocking hidden potentials within the mind. With that in mind, let us demonstrate some methods for intoning this language, tapping into its transformative potential through sound. Consider that the key lies in intention, in approaching the words with a clear and focused purpose. When pronouncing words with different intentions, a new level of depth can be found, for intention shapes reality. Experiment with emphasis on different sounds, such as the ah sounds, which can open the heart and promote feelings of love and compassion, or the guttural sounds, which can ground us and connect us to the earth. And remember always that the breath is key, for it is the bridge between the body and the spirit. Consider, too, how a practitioner might experiment with different intonations and vocalizations of Enochian words and phrases to explore their effects on their consciousness and emotional state. How does it make you feel? Perhaps try changing your tone and inflection. Consider how this relates to emotion, how certain sounds can evoke feelings of joy, sadness, anger, or peace. Relate how this also relates to memory, how certain sounds can trigger vivid recollections of past experiences. In this way, the Enochian language becomes a tool for exploring and understanding our mental state, for unraveling the complexities of our inner world. Is this not the goal of self-knowledge? Let us now turn our attention to visualization techniques as a way to enhance mental awareness, to further unlock the potential of the Enochian system. Consider the power of seeing the forms of angels, those luminous beings that represent different aspects of the divine, or perhaps just aspects of ourselves. For what is an angel but a reflection of our highest potential? Consider, too, the power of seeing geometrical forms, those sacred patterns that underlie all of creation, revealing the hidden order and harmony of the universe, for in geometry lies the key to understanding reality. All of this relates to creating internal landscapes, vast and intricate worlds within our minds, where we can explore, create, and transform. Consider, too, methods to connect these visualizations to emotions, to ground them in our lived experience. Relate a visualization to a time in your life, a memory that evokes strong feelings, whether positive or negative. Work with the feeling of the visualization, allowing it to guide you on a journey of self-discovery, for emotions are the compass that guides us through the inner world. Remember, the goal is not to simply create pretty pictures in your mind, but to engage with the emotional content of the visualizations, to allow them to transform you from the inside out. Connect, then, to the body, feeling the sensations that arise as you visualize, allowing them to ground you in the present moment, for the body is the temple of the soul. But let us also consider how to create personalized visualizations, how to make the Enochian system truly your own. Remember that while D may have seen a certain angel, you may see something different, for your subconscious mind will present the symbols in a way that is meaningful to you. There is not a wrong way to visualize something. The key is about the experience, not just replicating a vision, so let yourself be guided by your intuition, allowing your inner wisdom to lead the way, for the path to self-discovery is unique to each individual. It is the experience, not just replicating a vision, that brings transformation. Now let us demonstrate how the language and visualization can play together to create an experience, a powerful synergy that unlocks deeper levels of awareness. Use the language to create a specific visualization, perhaps a particular angel or geometrical form. By using both, you can entrain the mind easier, creating a stronger and more immersive experience for multiple senses enhance learning. Engaging multiple senses creates a strong effect, anchoring the experience in your mind and body, making it more real and transformative. Is this not the way to change from within? Let us reiterate now the importance of approaching Enochian magic with respect, mindfulness, and a clear understanding of one's own intentions and motivations. Let us too warn against using the Enochian language or entities for manipulative or harmful purposes, for the power of this system should not be underestimated, and its misuse can have serious consequences. The goal should always be about transformation and never control, for true power lies in self-mastery, not in dominion over others. The ethics, therefore, are paramount. Consider, too, the importance of integrating the insights and experiences gained through Enochian practice into one's everyday life, maintaining a balanced perspective and acting with compassion and responsibility. Suggest balancing your regular life with this practice, ensuring that you don't become too engrossed in the inner world and neglect your responsibilities, relationships, and physical well-being. Suggest also grounding exercises to make sure you are safe, anchoring yourself in the present moment and connecting with the earth, for the path to enlightenment requires both spiritual exploration and practical grounding. Maintaining mental health, then, is vital. For ultimately, the system can be used to unlock your internal power, to unleash your full potential as a human being, which is why we must be cautious. In closing, the Enochian language is a method to explore different mental states, to expand our consciousness, and to transform our lives. This then is a tool for transformation, and not simple entertainment, a sacred system that should be approached with reverence and respect. For when all is said and done, does it not bring us to the question of what it is to be human, and how we might transcend the limitations of such a state? Let us now turn to the future of the system and consider how we will maintain its ethics as we move forward. But here's what most people miss. The conventional view of Enochian angels frames them as external entities that one summons and commands. But what if these angels are not external at all, but rather symbolic keys to unlock specific potentials within ourselves? Consider that these entities are not slaves to be commanded, but rather aspects of your own subconscious, waiting to be awakened. Reinterpreting angelic contact as a method for finding inner strength, therefore, can dramatically shift our understanding of the system. Indeed, the traditional view of magic often relates to external gods or entities that one must petition for assistance, and so magic becomes an act of praying to an external god for favors. However, the Enochian system shifts the focus from looking upward to looking inward, from seeking external validation to finding the divine within. It emphasizes that the angels do not provide gifts in the traditional sense, but rather offer insight, helping us to unlock personal traits and abilities that were already latent within us. This subtle shift from external dependence to internal empowerment is key to understanding the true potential of Enochian magic. The Enochian angels, then, can be seen as psychological tools that can be immensely useful for transforming and analyzing the self. Each angel represents a different aspect of our being, a different facet of our potential. Understanding these aspects, addressing the conscious mind, altering psychological states, and connecting to the hidden structure of the universe becomes possible when working with these internal guides. These powers, therefore, relate to the enhancement of the self, to becoming more complete and actualized human beings. But how can we harness these inner forces to create a positive experience? That very question will guide the rest of this section, inviting us to explore how the Enochian system can be used as a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth, and how we can connect to these hidden archetypes within ourselves. It is vital to remember that in the exploration of the self, we need to approach this with good intentions and a clear mind, and so the question of a positive experience will guide us. Let us now turn our attention to the work of Carl Jung and his concept of archetypes, for this provides a valuable framework for understanding how these angels might function as reflections of the human experience. Are the angels not reflections of us? Jung argued that archetypes are universal, inborn patterns of behavior and imagery that reside in the collective unconscious. And so how might these relate to our discussion of Enochian magic? Consider, for instance, how certain angels might be related to the persona, the mask we present to the world, the role we play in society, how certain angels may represent the shadow, the darker, repressed aspects of our personality that we often try to hide from ourselves and others, and how other angels may be related to the self, the unifying center of our being. The point of integration between the conscious and unconscious realms. The more we delve into the topic, the more obvious it becomes that by linking the angels to existing psychological models, we establish a grounding point for the new Enochian paradigm. Let us consider the darker angels and how they can be used for shadow work, for confronting and integrating those repressed aspects of ourselves that we often fear or deny. This is not about embracing evil, but about understanding the totality of our being, accepting that darkness is as much a part of us as light. What they don't want you to know is that in order to truly master ourselves, we must confront our demons, accepting the shadow as a key to balance, understanding that dark isn't evil, but merely a part of the whole. It is vital, then, to have control over these forces for personal growth, for only by integrating the shadow can we achieve true wholeness. In contrast, let us explore how the lighter angels can be used to unlock our potential, to embrace our strengths, and cultivate self-love. This is about recognizing our inherent worth, about seeing ourselves in a positive light, about accepting that we are worthy of love, happiness, and success. To find the secrets of the light, you must first love yourself, and what they don't want you to know is that society profits from your self-hate. So use the lighter angels to embrace your strengths, and use them to see yourself in a positive light, and finally, use them to accept that you are worthy. The combined effect of using these angels in tandem with the visualization and phonetic techniques from the last section can create a positive and powerful effect. By mixing internal and external sources, true change can be found, and we may find that what they didn't want us to know was inside of us all along. The angelic entities, therefore, can create a more well-rounded individual, a person who has integrated their shadow and embraced their light. And so, with these tools in mind, let us explore how you can create your own. Dee had his own version of these angels, based on his unique experiences and beliefs, but those angels may not be the same as yours. So, how can you create your own personalized angelic guides that resonate with your individual psyche? The first step is meditation on the qualities you want to manifest, focusing on the virtues you wish to cultivate, the strengths you wish to develop. Another method may include the practice of journaling and automatic writing, allowing your subconscious mind to express itself freely on paper. And from there, you can also draw inspiration from art, media, and nature, looking for symbols and images that resonate with your inner world. You must find your unique path, for transformation is personal. So how might you engage with your angels using these visualization techniques? Imagine a being coming to you from a light, a radiant figure that embodies the qualities you seek. See its form, hear its voice, feel its presence, and allow it to guide you. Or imagine a specific location or entity that you would like to interact with. Connecting to the subconscious is about understanding what makes you you. Use music to create a unique image, or go outside and touch some grass to connect with your visualization. These visualizations, therefore, can enhance connection, grounding the angelic presence in your lived experience. And now, let us consider how to use the Enochian language to name or define an angel's powers, to give it a unique identity and purpose. Use the language from previous sections, experiment with different sounds and combinations, and find the words that best capture the essence of your angel. Create sigils to represent specific angels, drawing upon the principles of sacred geometry and symbolic representation. Intone the angel's name, practicing the sound and feel of it in your mouth, allowing it to resonate within your being for this further grounding and manifestation. Above all, document the process, for this builds a relationship with the angel, strengthening your connection and deepening your understanding. Create a journal of your findings, recording your visions, thoughts, and feelings. Use art or music to help, expressing your experiences in creative ways. Discuss your finding with a therapist, grounding your experiences in the material. This documentation, therefore, helps you to remember, to integrate the experience into your conscious awareness, and to track your progress over time, and is vital for long-term gains. But what are the potential benefits of this system? What changes can you expect to see in your life if you commit to working with these internal angels? By rewiring the mind, you are changing your life, for the angels represent different aspects of your psyche. By integrating them, you are becoming a more whole and balanced individual. In time, you can see major changes in your behavior, your relationships, and your overall sense of well-being. You can find parts of the self, the hidden potential that has been waiting to be unlocked. You can explore the nature of your reality, gaining new insights into the universe and your place within it, for this connects to personal strength and gives you a reason to pursue this system. When used correctly, the system can assist with common mental problems, providing tools for managing difficult emotions and overcoming limiting beliefs. By connecting with the shadow, you can find depression relief, understanding and integrating those darker aspects of yourself, and learning to accept the totality of your being. By connecting with the fire, you can manage anger, transforming that destructive energy into a source of passion and creativity. By connecting with water, you can relieve anxiety, finding peace and tranquility in the midst of chaos. For by using each angel correctly, relief can be found, a path to healing and wholeness. Indeed, the Enochian language can be used every day as a constant source of power, influence, and insight, a tool for navigating the complexities of life with greater awareness and intention. Constant practice is key to stability, creating a strong and consistent connection with your inner world. New states of consciousness are possible, expanding your awareness and opening you to new possibilities. Greater control of the mind is possible, mastering your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, for there is a method to sustain this in a healthy way. But with these powers in mind, what does the future hold for this system? What does it mean to practice a magic system in a modern world? This question sets up the final section that covers the future of the system and Enochian magic, inviting us to consider its potential and its limitations as we move forward. Alright, let's embark on a journey into the heart of the Enochian universe, but let's first challenge a common misconception, that it's merely a collection of separate realms like the ethers and elemental tablets. What if, instead, we consider it as a unified system where every element reflects and interconnects with every other? This isn't about discrete dimensions, fellow mystics, but about different angles of perspective, all facets of a single, unified reality. Are we ready to move away from the idea of separate realms and toward a vision of interconnectedness? To truly grasp this unified vision, we must first define the concept of correspondences, a principle that serves as a key for understanding the intricate web of connections within the Enochian system. What does this mean, exactly? Simply put, every component of the system mirrors and reflects another. Think of it as a vast cosmic hall of mirrors, where each reflection offers a unique perspective on the same underlying truth. And this is all deeply related to that famous Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, suggesting a symbolic link between all things, from the grandest cosmic structures to the smallest particles of existence, a reflection of the same divine blueprint. Let's demonstrate this with some specific examples, shall we? Consider the ethers, those vast, atmospheric regions of the Enochian universe. Each ether, with its unique name and governing intelligences, corresponds to specific qualities found within the elemental tablets, aligning to the qualities found within the individual. The Enochian calls, those powerful invocations used to access these realms, aren't just random incantations. They are precisely tuned to resonate with the qualities of the specific ethers they are designed to open, like a key fitting perfectly into a lock. Each angel within the Enochian hierarchy, far from being a free-floating entity, is meticulously linked to a particular point on the tablets, acting as a microcosmic representation of the macrocosmic forces at play. Do you begin to see the unity of this system? Understanding these correspondences unlocks a deeper level of comprehension, allowing us to see the system as a cheat sheet, a map that reveals the hidden connections between seemingly disparate elements. This isn't just about memorizing names and symbols, but about understanding how the entire structure acts as a unified whole, that all inner functions are intricately tied, allowing for a more personalized connection. By recognizing these patterns, we can begin to navigate the Enochian universe with greater confidence and insight, and what they don't want you to know is that this system can change your life. But here's a question to ponder. What happens when there isn't balance between each piece of this intricate system? What happens if one element is missing or distorted? Remember, the concept of balance is vital for health, and a perfect system is a healthy system. In the same way that a body suffers when one organ malfunctions, the Enochian system suffers when one of its components is out of sync. If one piece is missing, the whole system suffers, creating discord and imbalance, ultimately hindering our progress on the path of self-discovery, for you may find that what they don't want you to know is tied to this balancing act. Let us now turn our attention to the nature of time and space within Enochian thought, challenging the traditional view of these constructs as linear and separate. But what if Enochian thought hints at something more profound, the interconnectedness and cyclical nature of time and space? This is where things get really interesting, for it suggests that the past, present, and future are not neatly separated compartments, but rather exist simultaneously, happening all at once. Are we ready to shift from a linear to a circular perception of reality? Consider the Great Table, that complex grid of letters and symbols that forms the foundation of the Enochian system. But is it merely a fixed structure, a static representation of the cosmos? Dee himself saw it as a key, and with good reason. But what if it's something more? What if it's a dynamic, multi-dimensional map, a snapshot of something far greater, a glimpse into the ever-flowing, ever-changing nature of reality? This challenges our assumptions about the very nature of space and time, for with each insight, the world may shift on its axis. Let's connect this to specific elements of the Enochian system, drawing lines between these symbols and the idea of non-linear time. The Enochian watchtowers, those powerful guardians of the four cardinal directions, can be seen as representing folds in space, points where the fabric of reality bends and warps, allowing for passage between different dimensions. The cyclical nature of the ethers, with their constant flow of energy and information, connects us to the past, present, and future simultaneously, suggesting that time is not a straight line, but a continuous loop. And what about the Enochian squares, those seemingly simple grids of letters? What if they act as multiple dimensions, existing at once, tying together all the planes? It would appear that time and space are not separate entities, but are inextricably tied together by consciousness. And now, let us consider how manipulating space in your mind can influence the future. This isn't about wielding magical powers, but about harnessing the power of intention and visualization. Focus on your desired outcome, visualizing it with clarity and intensity, for the power of focus, in itself, can be a life-changing art. Connect this to the idea of creating your own angels, imbuing them with specific qualities and intentions, and then sending them forth into the world to manifest your desires. By carefully crafting this system, what they don't want you to know is that you can influence your future. But let us not forget to ask, if the mind can shift time, what can that do to your reality? This sets up the core idea of consciousness, the notion that our thoughts, beliefs, and intentions directly shape the world around us. If one changes their mind, the future changes, and if one changes their perspective, the world shifts on its axis. Could it be that the Enochian system provides us with a framework for consciously manipulating our own reality, for rewriting our own destinies, for discovering what they don't want you to know? This naturally leads us to the concept of the observer effect, a principle from quantum physics that challenges our understanding of reality itself. For those unfamiliar, the act of observing a quantum system fundamentally changes it, influencing its behavior and outcome. But what if this principle extends beyond the subatomic realm? What if the very act of observing anything, even the seemingly fixed structures of our everyday world, alters its nature? By considering how the mind interacts with the quantum field, we come closer to the idea that mind shapes reality. Let us draw parallels between this observer effect and the act of engaging with the Enochian system. Does focusing on the angels change them, imbuing them with new qualities, or shifting their roles in the cosmic order? Does the act of observing the tablets, contemplating their symbols and patterns, change your mind, rewiring your neural pathways and altering your perceptions? Indeed, if we are active participants in the creation of reality, then the Enochian system becomes a tool for conscious co-creation, merging quantum physics to Enochian magic. And now, the implications of this connection, understanding the nature of reality and the role of consciousness. This isn't about finding objective truths, but about recognizing the subjective nature of experience. Each person will have a unique journey and will change with them as their powers evolve. There is no one true version of this system, only a multitude of individual interpretations, and by accepting this, reality becomes subjective, and what they don't want you to know is that truth is perspective. Returning to our earlier discussions, we begin to see that the angels act as a focus point, channeling our intentions and amplifying our desires. Visualization techniques, honed through years of practice, help us to shape these energies and direct them towards specific goals, for each part of the system connects to the mind, further reinforcing the core theme that the system ultimately changes the user. You change the system, it changes you. But let us not forget to ask, how does a group of people focusing change the outcome? What happens when multiple minds converge on a single intention, amplifying the energy and magnifying the effect? This connects directly to the idea of group intention, the power of collective consciousness to shape reality on a larger scale. What happens when multiple people believe something? Consider the power of shared myths, cultural narratives, and religious beliefs to shape the course of history, for by discovering what they don't want you to know, change can be made. The path is now set for a conclusion on Enochian magic, and we may ask if it's not just about self-transformation, but about influencing the world around you. We will explore how this can be used as a force for good, how this system relates to the collective, and how it can change your neighborhood, your city, and even your world. This and so much more awaits us. Let's now delve into the inner landscape of Enochian magic, challenging the conventional understanding of its entities as purely external forces. What if instead these angels are not beings from another dimension, but rather sophisticated personas or masks that our subconscious mind adopts to navigate and interact with the world? This shifts the paradigm entirely, doesn't it? Elaborate upon this concept. These personas are far from static. They are fluid and adaptable, constantly changing based on our circumstances, emotional states, and even the people we interact with. One moment, a stern, judicial persona might emerge to handle a conflict, while another might embody a playful, innocent child during moments of joy and carefree abandon. Still another might manifest as a wise sage, offering guidance and insight during times of confusion or uncertainty. This presents a far more nuanced perspective, doesn't it? One that positions Enochian entities not as external entities, but as dynamic representations of internal roles and identities, inner archetypes yearning to be expressed. To understand this more deeply, let's turn to the Jungian concept of the persona. In Jungian psychology, the persona is the mask we wear in social situations, a carefully constructed facade that we present to the world. It's the aspect of ourselves that we consciously choose to display, often conforming to societal expectations or professional roles. But what many fail to realize is that these angelic personas, much like our everyday social masks, can be sources of immense power and confidence, allowing us to tap into hidden reserves of strength and skill. However, relying too heavily on any single persona can lead to imbalance, a disconnect from our true selves. And here's where the danger arises. If we fail to shift between these personas as needed, if we become rigidly identified with a single role or archetype, the Enochian system can be abused, leading to psychological fragmentation and a loss of authenticity. This is where the importance of adaptability shines through, for by failing to shift and flow between these inner masks, we risk becoming trapped by them, losing sight of the multifaceted nature of our own being. What happens then when we lose this crucial ability to shift, to adapt, to evolve? But how can we cultivate this ability to shift, to consciously choose and embody different personas as needed? One practical method is to create a table, either physical or mental, that maps out the qualities and characteristics of each persona. Contemplate these qualities, meditate upon them, and explore how they might manifest in different situations. Consider using art or music to personify these personas, creating visual or auditory representations that capture their essence. Engage in creative writing, crafting stories or dialogues that allow these personas to express themselves. And what they don't want you to know is that such acts of self-discovery could change the landscape of your inner world. Now let's connect this to the idea of the ethers as emotional states. Each ether, with its unique atmosphere and governing intelligences, may relate to a specific persona, acting as a lens through which we experience and express particular emotions. For example, one ether might evoke a sense of fierce courage and unwavering determination, aligning with a warrior persona, while another might induce feelings of deep compassion and nurturing, resonating with a motherly archetype. By understanding these connections, by recognizing how the ethers and the personas intertwine, we unlock a powerful method for personal transformation, a way to consciously shape our emotional landscape and access a wider range of inner resources. What then happens when all these personas take over the self, blurring the lines between identity and archetype? This leads us to a crucial warning: the danger of identifying too strongly with any one Enochian entity or persona. What happens when the ego is lost to an angel? What happens when we become so immersed in a particular role or archetype that we lose sight of our own individuality, our own unique essence? This can lead to a loss of self, psychological fragmentation, and a dangerous blurring of the boundaries between the inner and outer worlds. Balance, therefore, is vital to success, for it is the anchor that keeps us grounded amidst the turbulent currents of the subconscious. It can be tempting, oh so tempting, to become an angel of power, to bask in the glory of its strength and authority. But what they don't want you to know is that this system demands respect, demands humility, demands a constant awareness of the potential pitfalls that lie hidden beneath the surface. So, let us analyze what can happen when a person merges too completely with an entity, losing themselves in the process. Mental instability, a loss of direction, damaged relationships, these are just some of the potential consequences, the dark shadows that lurk on the periphery of this powerful system. Are we willing to heed the warnings, to tread this path with caution and reverence? So how do we prevent this psychological possession, this erosion of the self? The best way, fellow mystics, is to have strong boundaries, to maintain a clear and unwavering sense of our own identity. Regular grounding practices are essential, connecting us to the earth and anchoring us in the present moment. Constant intention checks, asking ourselves why we are engaging with a particular entity or persona, help us to stay focused on our goals and avoid getting swept away by its influence. And above all, maintaining regular contact with reality, engaging in everyday activities, and nurturing our relationships keeps us grounded and prevents us from becoming lost in the realms of the imagination. Now let's compare and contrast healthy engagement with each persona, highlighting the key differences between a balanced approach and a dangerous over-identification. Techniques like visualization can be invaluable, allowing us to connect with an entity or persona without losing ourselves in its power. The ability to consciously return at any time, to step back from the experience and reassess our intentions, is crucial for maintaining control and preventing psychological fragmentation. And remember, the end goal is always a stronger self, a more integrated and resilient individual, not a complete merging with an external force. So by understanding these techniques, what they don't want you to know is that control and insight are the keys to a harmonious connection. Let us now turn our attention to creating an Enochian mandala, a symbolic map that can act as a powerful focus point for our intentions and a visual representation of the interconnectedness of the Enochian system. A mandala, in its essence, is a visual symbol that holds a deeper meaning, acting as a microcosm of the universe and a reflection of our own inner world. It can be used as a focus point for meditation, a tool for contemplation, and a key for unlocking hidden aspects of our consciousness. How, then, can we harness the power of the mandala within the context of Enochian magic? A physical or digital mandala can be constructed to focus intent. Start by relaxing your mind and allowing your intuition to guide you. What shapes, colors, and symbols resonate with you in relation to your specific intention? Draw different designs, experimenting with different shapes to see how they affect your energy and focus. Different shapes create different forces, different vibrations, and different pathways for your intention to manifest. Experiment with colors, allowing your intuition to guide you in choosing the hues that best represent your desired outcome. The physical design, therefore, is not merely aesthetic. It is an integral part of the process, a tangible representation of your inner landscape. Let me demonstrate how to construct a mandala, a guided demonstration for clarity. First, relax your mind and enter a state of meditative awareness. Second, visualize a shape that resonates with your intent, perhaps a circle, a square, or a star. Third, draw the shape on paper or create it digitally, allowing your hand to move freely and intuitively. Fourth, focus your intent on the mandala, imbuing it with your desires, your hopes, and your aspirations. And through this creative act, what they don't want you to know is that you can take control of your life and build the future you've always dreamed of. And now, let's consider how to use the Enochian language with your mandala, adding another layer of depth and power to your practice. Add words to the mandala, carefully choosing Enochian phrases that represent your intent. Chant these words aloud, allowing the vibrations of the language to resonate within your body and mind. Focus your intent on the sound, allowing the tones and rhythms to amplify your desires. By combining the visual symbolism of the mandala with the sonic power of the Enochian language, we create a multi-sensory experience that enhances our focus and strengthens our connection to the energies we are working with. So consider this as you create your own unique mandala and tap into what they don't want you to know. This naturally leads us to the idea that the future of Enochian magic lies in building a positive community, a collective of like-minded individuals who share their insights, support each other's growth, and work together to unlock the full potential of this powerful system. The more people who engage with this system, the more perspectives, insights, and experiences we can draw upon, creating a richer and more nuanced understanding of its mysteries. Multiple minds, after all, are better than one, and by shifting the focus from ego to community, we can create a force for positive change that extends far beyond our individual selves. What methods can we use to work with Enochian magic together to foster this sense of community and shared purpose? Share your insights with each other, engaging in open and honest dialogue about your experiences, your challenges, and your breakthroughs. Meditate together, either in person or online, creating a shared field of intention that amplifies the power of your individual practices. Remember, the answers ultimately come from within, from our own inner wisdom and intuition. And by working together, we can help each other access these inner resources, supporting each other on our journeys of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Let's not forget to reinforce the ethical component once again, reminding ourselves of the importance of balance, intent, and safety. The goal is always to foster harmony and growth, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Each person has the power to change themselves, to transform their own lives and the lives of others. But without that guiding principle, without that unwavering commitment to ethical practice, there is only darkness, only the potential for harm and destruction. And discovering what they don't want you to know requires a clear mind and pure intent. In closing, the long-term benefit of Enochian magic lies in its potential to transform ourselves and others in a powerful and profound way. By connecting all these previous ideas together, by recognizing the interconnectedness of the personas, the ethers, the mandalas, and the community, we can unlock a force for positive change that ripples outward, transforming our lives, our relationships, and the world around us. Remember, the goal is always to strive for balance, to cultivate compassion, and to act with integrity in all that we do. What happens then, when we harness this power with a positive goal, with a genuine desire to make the world a better place? By changing one mind at a time, can we truly change the world? Let's now consider the idea of the Enochian temple, often envisioned as a physical place of ritual, adorned with sigils and elemental symbols. But what if, instead, this temple exists primarily within the mind, a sanctuary built of thought and intention? This transforms the Enochian temple from a physical location to a psychological construct, a space where clarity and mental strength can be cultivated. Indeed, the temple provides a framework for navigating the complex inner landscape of Enochian magic. This inner sanctuary becomes a fortress of the mind, a place where the practitioner can retreat from the chaos of the outside world and connect with the deeper aspects of their being. But what does it mean to build and dwell within such a mental construct? Imagine the four quarters of this inner temple, each corresponding to a specific region of consciousness. The East, the realm of intellect, is where ideas are born and analyzed, a space for logic, reason, and critical thinking. The South, the domain of willpower, is the forge where desires are tempered and intentions are solidified, a place for action, courage, and determination. The West, the territory of emotion, is the wellspring of feeling, a space for empathy, compassion, and intuition. And finally, the north, the realm of sensation, is the grounding force, connecting us to the physical world and anchoring us in the present moment, a space for stability, security, and practicality. How then does this inner temple help create a framework for conscious growth, providing the necessary space for exploration? To truly engage with this inner temple, methods are required to then visualize and build it within the mind, a step-by-step process that amplifies all future work. Picture the foundations being laid, the walls rising, the roof taking shape, all constructed with intention and care. Associate this mental temple with a physical location, a place you can visit in your imagination whenever you need to reconnect with its energies. The act of associating it with a physical location helps to ground it into place. Charge the temple with the ENOCHIAN language, chanting the names of the angels and spirits that govern its different quarters, infusing it with their power and presence. And here's what they don't want you to know: this act of visualization, of association, of invocation, creates a real and present place, not merely a figment of the imagination. This location becomes a powerful tool for focusing intent and accessing the deeper realms of ENOCHIAN magic. What then does this enhanced visualization provide? With this location firmly established within the mind, one can then focus more intent into the other methods, amplifying the effectiveness of the entire practice. Visualization enhances everything, imbuing the symbols, rituals, and invocations with a greater sense of reality and power. It provides a psychological foundation for the user, a stable and secure base from which to explore the more challenging aspects of ENOCHIAN magic. A solid foundation, after all, helps the entire practice, ensuring that the practitioner is grounded and centered throughout their journey. With this solid base in place, each part becomes more effective, each ritual more potent, each invocation more resonant. But can this be built for more stability and mental health? Can it enhance long-term practice? Let us now turn to the ENOCHIAN watchtowers, often viewed as external entities, guardians of the elemental realms, powerful forces to be summoned and commanded. But what if, instead, we reframe the watchtowers as inner constructs, aspects of the self that guard the inner temple, protecting it from negative influences and maintaining balance within the psyche? These inner guardians act as protectors, keeping the mental temple healthy and preventing it from being corrupted by destructive forces. What influence does this reframing provide for the serious practitioner? These watchtowers help protect from negative influences, shielding the mind from destructive thoughts, emotions, and energies. They help keep us balanced, ensuring that we are not overwhelmed by any one element or aspect of our being. They help reinforce mental strength, providing us with the courage and determination to face challenges and overcome obstacles. Now, each watchtower is connected to a specific element. Each tablet acts as a connection. The fire tablet is connected to strength, to passion, to the will to act. The water tablet is connected to emotional stability, to compassion, to the ability to connect with others. The air tablet is connected to intellectual clarity, to reason, to the ability to understand complex concepts. And the earth tablet is connected to reality, to practicality, to the ability to manifest our desires in the physical world. What traits can these connections bring to light? To safely engage with these inner watchtowers, consider these practical methods. Meditate with positive intent, focusing on the qualities and virtues associated with each element, seeking to embody them in your own life. Always maintain respect, acknowledging the power and potential of these forces and treating them with reverence and humility. Use the tools for insight, not power, seeking to understand ourselves and the world around us, rather than trying to control or manipulate them. Remember, safety is always important, and approaching these forces with a clear mind and a pure heart is essential for a positive and transformative experience. What they don't want you to know is that safety is key in these instances. Furthermore, the user can build their personalized guardians, imbuing them with specific qualities and characteristics that align with their individual needs and aspirations. The guardians act as protectors, shielding us from harm and guiding us on our path. They can reinforce your skills, enhancing our abilities and talents in various areas of our lives. They come when intention is pure, responding to our genuine desire for growth, healing, and transformation. This helps ground the inner power, providing a tangible connection to the energies of the watchtowers. So how do we then use these guardians for a game, a framework to explore the inner landscape? This naturally leads us to Enochian chess, often seen as a means of summoning angels and spirits, a way to command otherworldly forces for personal gain. But what if, instead, this is not about defeating another force, but creating insight for yourself, a framework for exploring different perspectives and discovering new mindsets? This is not about dominating or controlling external entities, but about understanding and integrating different aspects of ourselves, about learning to navigate the complexities of the inner world. Each player, in this context, can show different traits, representing different aspects of the personality or different approaches to life. So what does this new framework teach the serious practitioner? Each piece represents a new force, a different approach to conflict, a unique way of navigating the challenges of life. The knight, with its unpredictable movements, represents intuition and creativity. The pawn, with its slow and steady progress, represents perseverance and determination. The rook, with its straightforward approach, represents logic and reason. The queen, with its versatility and power, represents adaptability and resourcefulness. In movement, they represent what you can use to overcome challenges, the tools and strategies you can employ to achieve your goals. And the game showcases a unique way, a symbolic representation of the internal battles we all face on our journey of self-discovery. To engage with Enochian chess with shadow work in mind, consider these techniques. Each piece can represent the traits in your shadow, the hidden aspects of your personality that you may be unaware of or unwilling to acknowledge. Focus on the areas that are weak, identifying the pieces that are most vulnerable or ineffective, and exploring the reasons why. Visualize the movement of each piece, paying attention to the feelings and thoughts that arise as you contemplate its strengths and weaknesses. So focus intent on these pieces, directing your energy and attention towards the aspects of yourself that need the most healing and integration. What insight can this method provide? This inner conflict relates directly to problems in real life, offering a symbolic representation of the challenges we face and the choices we make. Will you find the better outcome by making the right moves, strategizing effectively, and adapting to changing circumstances? How will you act when engaging with others, considering their perspectives and responding with empathy and compassion? Will your good habits overcome your bad, developing the discipline and willpower to achieve your goals and overcome your limitations? What they don't want you to know is that this shows you the areas that need work, the aspects of yourself that require more attention and care. What then happens when we bring an ethical framework to this inner game? But what positive power can be used with these systems to grow, to cultivate balance, harmony, and well-being? Positive power can change with ethics, transforming the game from a battle against external forces into a journey of self-discovery and integration. Positive intent can turn the game into balance, shifting the focus from competition to collaboration, from domination to understanding. So what can a community provide? A collective of like-minded individuals working together to unlock the full potential of Enochian magic. And just what does that look like? Challenge the conventional interpretation of the Enochian keys as mere incantations for summoning or commanding angels. What if instead the keys serve as keys to unlock and explore different states of consciousness, emotional patterns, and cognitive functions within the individual? The Enochian keys are poetic and evocative. Instead of rigid instructions, they engage the imagination in a way that is remarkably useful for meditation and self-reflection. The angels reached through the keys are not external entities, but rather aspects of our own consciousness, reflections of our inner selves waiting to be discovered. What this sets up is a completely new way to reinterpret the keys, aligning with the central thesis of inner exploration and psychological understanding. Define the concept of inner landscapes as symbolic representations of the subconscious mind, the hidden territories within ourselves. These landscapes encompass repressed emotions, limiting beliefs, and hidden potentials, all waiting to be brought to light. It is vital to delve into these inner realms. Imagine them as uncharted territories filled with both challenges and treasures. What can be discovered there? Buried memories, untapped talents, and the root causes of our deepest fears and desires. Why is it important to confront and integrate these hidden thoughts? Because they exert a powerful influence on our conscious lives, shaping our behaviors, relationships, and our perception of reality. This notion helps to set up a context for profound personal discovery and psychological transformation. Now, imagine the Enochian keys as tools for mapping the mind. Instead of external directions, they act as an internal compass, guiding you through the labyrinth of your own subconscious. Each key becomes a signpost, leading you to a different region of your inner world. How can practitioners use the keys as an internal compass to explore these areas? Visualize each key as a doorway, opening onto a new vista within your mind. Use the keys to chart the unconscious, noting the emotions, sensations, and thoughts that arise as you journey through each landscape. This guides travel, allowing you to chart the inner self, to uncover hidden aspects of your being and integrate them into a more complete and harmonious whole. What this process prepares is a framework for deep visualization and self-awareness. How then can specific Enochian keys be used to unlock particular aspects of our inner landscapes and promote psychological integration? This is what we will explore in the following section, a journey into the practical application of the keys and their potential to unlock the secrets of your mind and the nature of consciousness itself. But here's what they don't want you to know: the true power of the keys lies not in commanding external forces, but in mastering the forces within. Let's analyze how the first key, for example, can be used for the development of the self. It's often used to evoke a sense of cosmic awareness and connection to the universe. The first key can be reframed as a means of expanding one's self-concept and sense of belonging. It encourages us to see ourselves as part of something larger, to recognize our interconnectedness with all things. What are some actionable steps for using this key? Meditate while speaking the key out loud, allowing the sounds and vibrations to resonate within your body and mind. See the symbols associated with the key in your mind's eye, embracing the unconscious and allowing it to guide your journey. Feel the expansion of your awareness, the sense of becoming more than you thought possible. All of this creates and connects to the expansion of self. Now, let's examine the third key, often associated with judgment and justice, as a tool for self-evaluation and ethical decision-making. This offers an invitation to examine one's own values and beliefs, to identify areas where one might be acting out of alignment with one's true self, and to make choices that promote integrity and authenticity. What are we invited to discuss? Internal imbalances, conflicts between our ideals and our actions, the hidden motivations that drive our choices. What actionable steps can be taken to confront and deal with these internal imbalances? Draw them, engaging with them through meditation, and changing them into better habits. By confronting these shadows, we begin to promote internal honesty and create a more integrated and authentic sense of self. Let's now explore the 11th key, traditionally linked to the element of air and the power of communication, as a way to enhance one's intellectual clarity and improve one's ability to express oneself effectively. This key encourages practitioners to explore their thought patterns, identify limiting beliefs, and develop new ways of thinking that promote creativity, innovation, and open-mindedness. This relates to your thought patterns, the ways you process information, the biases that shape your perceptions. But what actionable steps can you take to enhance this process? This can be further enhanced with visualization, by thinking about and changing one's own thought patterns. By reshaping our thoughts, we pave the way for intellectual change. Each of these keys unlocks a specific aspect of life and creates a strong connection with a new state of being. There are a multitude of keys that are designed to unlock the inner mind and build on this state of being, opening doors to new possibilities and deeper levels of awareness. This can lead to more exploration, with actionable output being drawing these thoughts and visualizing them. But here's what most people miss: the keys are not just about unlocking potential, but about integrating these unlocked aspects into a cohesive and functional whole. Now that we have these methods, how can the use of the keys in sequence offer a path to growth, a structured journey of self-discovery? The sequence offers a path to self-discovery, the steps along a carefully crafted route. The importance of building a foundation before starting on a new key cannot be overstated. Just as a building needs a solid base, so too does your inner work require a stable foundation. There is a benefit to working in order, but it is not strictly required, as the goal is insight and intent. Remember, the sequence is a guide, not a rigid set of rules. What matters most is the intent you bring to the practice and the insights you gain along the way. Creating a personalized system, then, becomes vital for long-term success. How can this be best achieved? Meditate with intent, seeking guidance from your inner wisdom. Contemplate and take notes of the feelings, sensations, and thoughts that arise during your practice. Truly understand yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your deepest desires. This all sets the stage for individualization, allowing you to tailor the ENOCHIAN keys to your unique needs and aspirations. How can the keys be used for shadow work, for confronting and integrating the hidden aspects of your personality? First, accept the negative sides, acknowledging that everyone has flaws, weaknesses, and unresolved issues. Then focus on the key that resonates the most, the one that seems to call to you with a particular urgency. Connect this key to the traits in your shadow, exploring how it can help you understand and integrate these hidden aspects of yourself. This offers a strong way to start, a path to self-acceptance and wholeness. Creating a shared journal and art to track progress and keep a solid record to look back on can be beneficial. Describe the merit to track the visualization, intent, and the feelings associated with each key, noting any patterns, synchronicities, or insights that emerge. Use this journal to create new keys, adapting and evolving the system to meet your specific needs and goals. For what they don't want you to know is that a new key can unlock even deeper aspects of your being, revealing hidden potentials and paving the way for transformative growth. This helps ground the user with past actions. How dangerous can this system be without proper precautions? It's about balance and intent, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your values and that you are not driven by ego or selfish desires. Harmful intent can create chaos, disrupting the delicate balance of your inner world and potentially causing harm to yourself and others. The system should never be about power, about manipulating or controlling external forces, but rather about self-discovery and personal growth. What this reinforces is that without balance, chaos will ensue. The misuse of power can create harm for others, inflicting damage on their minds, emotions, or spirits. It is not the intent to summon power or to will yourself on another, attempting to control their thoughts, feelings, or actions. This can cause major ethical issues, violating their free will and potentially causing them lasting harm. It's about helping yourself, not others. Remember, the true power lies in self-mastery, not in the domination of others. How can other practitioners help with the process, allowing the exchange of experiences and mutual growth? Relate these experiences to other areas of life, discussing how your inner work is impacting your relationships, your career, and your overall well-being. Discuss with a therapist or counselor, seeking guidance from a trained professional who can help you navigate the complexities of your subconscious. Make sure to integrate back into regular life, grounding your spiritual experiences in the everyday world. What this demonstrates is that balance is key, ensuring that you are not lost in the realms of the mind. The key is always about respect for the system, respect for others, and respect for yourself. Always focus on intent and the goals of this action, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your highest values and that you are not motivated by ego or selfish desires. The key should be to embrace the mind and discover a new state, exploring the depths of your subconscious with courage and compassion. Use this power to create an amazing new version of yourself, transforming your life and contributing to the well-being of the world around you. By ending with strong ethics and long-term actions, we lay the groundwork for a truly transformative journey. But what happens when we apply this system to more complex scenarios? That, seekers, is a question for another time. The exploration of the Enochian keys leads to a profound question. What if the system is not merely a set of external commands, but rather a mirror reflecting the very structure of our being? Challenge the traditional view of the Enochian system as purely spiritual or psychological. What if it can be mapped onto the human body, reflecting the Hermetic principle of as above, so below? Consider the body as a microcosm, mirroring the macrocosm of the Enochian universe. Each cell, each organ, a tiny reflection of the vast cosmos. It has long been taught that the outer reflects the inner, a concept echoed by countless mystics and philosophers. What if we could take this a step further, using the body as a tangible map to navigate the complex landscape of Enochian magic? The implications are vast, connecting us directly to the system in a way that is both personal and profound. By grounding the ethereal within the physical, we begin to understand the true potential of this ancient system. But how can we relate different parts of the body to different aspects of the Enochian system? How do we apply this as a practical matter? Think of the head as relating to the ethers, those vast and limitless realms of pure potential. The heart, that center of emotion and intuition, connects to the elemental tablets, the building blocks of reality. The limbs, instruments of action and expression, correspond to the Enochian keys, the tools we use to interact with the system. The organs, each with its own unique function, are analogous to the angels, the intelligences that govern the various aspects of existence. What this provides is a framework for relating the Enochian system directly to the self, a pathway to embodiment that transcends mere intellectual understanding. How then can this mapping be used as a new method for exploration and grounding? The possibilities are endless, limited only by your imagination and intent. Close your eyes and become an Enochian tablet, feeling the elemental forces coursing through you. Intone a key and feel where it resonates within your body, allowing the vibrations to guide you. Visualize an angel reciting within your chest, connecting with its unique qualities and energies. This is about more than just visualization. It's about embodiment, about feeling the Enochian energies within your very being. But here's what most people miss. The power of this method lies not in rote memorization or imitation, but in personalized insight, discovering your own unique connections and associations. For within this system, each user is, in effect, creating their own method to express themselves, allowing for personalized insight. This insight is key for long-term success, as each action is tailored to fit the individual and what they wish to achieve. Further, safety is increased as it is more tangible, creating a direct connection to the system that allows for greater control. As we reinforce these earlier ideas, it is key to remember that this connection is direct and will create the strongest effect. But the question remains, how do we connect the mind? Let us now turn to the brain, challenging the conventional view of mind-body dualism. The brain, that intricate organ of thought and feeling, creates consciousness, the very foundation of our being. This relates directly to intent, the driving force behind all magical workings. By understanding the self, we gain a deeper appreciation for the workings of our own consciousness and how it can be harnessed to achieve our goals. But what if we could create a map of the mind using the Enochian system, visualizing the different aspects of our consciousness and their connections to the various Enochian levels? This could provide a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal transformation. How then do we connect the brain to the Enochian levels. Visualize the cerebrum, that vast and complex region of the brain responsible for higher-level thought, as relating to visualization and connection with intent. The amygdala, the seat of our emotions, can be connected to the entities, those powerful forces that shape our feelings and desires. The brainstem, that primal and grounding center, keeps it all grounded, anchoring our consciousness in the physical realm. But what if we could go even deeper, exploring the individual functions of each brain region and their corresponding connections to the Enochian system? By understanding the areas of the brain, new visualization techniques can be used, creating a tangible effect that provides even more long-term benefits. As this method is new, much is yet to be discovered, paving the way for a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. Yet, even with the small discoveries, there is a possibility of more action, more to find, a path that will open itself. But we're just scratching the surface of this new practice. So what methods can we use to construct brain-based connections with intent? Analyze what actions the brain needs to connect with the system, focusing on key areas to find greater control. Combine the techniques from the previous sections, visualizing the different brain regions and their corresponding Enochian elements. For those areas of the brain that resonate most strongly with you, imagine, for instance, focusing your intent on the pineal gland, that mysterious third eye often associated with spiritual insight, while simultaneously visualizing the ethers, those realms of limitless potential. With enough practice, such actions will create new pathways, creating new connections within the brain, opening new doors to understanding and transformation. Now that we have all of this at our disposal, how do we make this useful in daily life? In our daily life, we encounter an endless string of problems that we must face to continue our existence. What if we could connect the brain and body to those problems to increase healing and overall success? This would all start with focusing intent on a physical ailment, directing your mental energy towards the area of discomfort. Relate that intent to a specific area of the body, visualizing the ailment as connected to the area we have previously discussed. With those steps, confront the ailment and give it power to transform, visualizing the ailment dissolving or transforming into something positive. This will give an actionable, practical use for those dealing with trauma. What about our emotional wounds? How do we explore those wounds with intent on healing? Start by drawing the emotions and where they originate in the body, visualizing the sensation of each feeling. Once that is done, visualize those traits, engaging with their purpose in your life. By engaging with these emotions, you can combine the systems to manifest new traits, allowing the traits to evolve for a stronger self. But with each trait, make sure to visualize it transforming and not manifesting power. Let's examine real-world examples. Low self-esteem can be healed by confronting it with visualization, picturing yourself as confident and capable. Anxiety can be healed with intent, visualization, and meditation, calming the nervous system and finding inner peace. Past actions can be healed by focusing with forgiveness, releasing the burden of guilt and regret. Through the intent to transform oneself, great power can be wielded, providing endless possibilities. However, it is key to maintain safety and grounding when engaging with personal change, ensuring your state of mind is strong and balanced. If things become too overwhelming, stop immediately, allowing yourself to regroup and regain control. Start small and work your way to the most powerful things, gradually building your resilience and capacity. What they don't want you to know is that this is a gradual process, not a quick fix. It requires patience, persistence, and a deep commitment to self-discovery. Otherwise, you risk the chance of harming yourself. For these powers relating to the mind, body, and spirit must be met with responsibility for long-term action. This is not a game and must be treated with the utmost respect, or the system becomes corrupt. There is a risk and reward, and risks need to be stated, for without ethics, it will fail. So keep yourself ethical, and you will see success. The key to using this for transformation is not about power, but insight. Empowerment is key, but with humility, ensuring that you are not driven by ego or selfish desires. It is not to change others but transform the self, for the true power lies within. This change can inspire the world, but be mindful to never force, allowing others to find their own path. Remember, the journey of self-discovery is a personal one, and we must respect the autonomy of others. For all of this is intertwined with intent. By keeping intent in a constant state of check, problems are avoided. However, a constant practice of ethics can improve how this all progresses and creates results, creating a virtuous cycle of growth and transformation. Without clear intent, the mind will create chaos, disrupting the delicate balance of your inner world and potentially causing harm to yourself and others. But how do we keep our intent pure? Let's summarize the core values of the system: intent, respect, and self-discovery. Explore these actions every day and change your lives for the better, creating a new and amazing state of being. See your unique results and continue on the path of transformation for yourselves. What we'll discover next is even more shocking, as these actions can enhance your life and the lives of those around you, rippling outwards to create a more harmonious and compassionate world. But how do you use this new self? What if the rituals themselves are not about commanding entities, but engaging in a form of psychological drama? Traditional understandings often cast Enochian rituals as a means of summoning or controlling external forces. But perhaps we should consider a reinterpretation, viewing these rituals as structured psychological dramas designed for inner exploration and transformation through symbolic action. Each ritual then becomes a carefully crafted play, a stage upon which the practitioner takes on different roles, interacting with archetypal forces within their own psyche. This redefinition shifts the focus from external control to internal processes, opening a new avenue for understanding the system's potential. To fully grasp this perspective, we must define the key elements of a psychological drama: intention, symbolic action, emotional engagement, and integration. Intention sets the stage, providing the focus and direction for the ritual. Symbolic action embodies the themes and forces at play, creating a tangible representation of inner dynamics. Emotional engagement fuels the process, allowing for genuine transformation to occur. Finally, integration allows the insights gained to be woven into the fabric of your being. This contrasts sharply with mere stage-based drama, where the goal is entertainment rather than profound psychological change. Here, the drama serves as a catalyst for internal shifts, a mirror reflecting the hidden depths of your own consciousness. But how does this apply to other magical systems? Connecting with other esoteric traditions reveals the deeper utility of this system, showing that this psychological drama has always been there. Consider the practice of shadow work, a cornerstone of Jungian psychology, which seeks to integrate the disowned aspects of the self. Enochian rituals can serve as a framework for this process, providing a structured environment to confront and reconcile with your inner demons. Alchemy, with its symbolic transformation of base metals into gold, finds a parallel in the transmutation of inner states through ritual drama. Even astrology, with its mapping of celestial influences on human affairs, aligns with the archetypal roles we embody within the Enochian framework. These connections add layers of depth to the system, grounding it in a rich history of esoteric practice. But how do we unlock this transformative potential? So how can we use the framework of psychological drama to unlock the transformative potential of Enochian rituals? This is what we will explore next, moving beyond theory into the realm of practical application. Let us then examine how to stage this inner play. First, the setting of the stage becomes crucial, creating a sacred space, both physically and mentally, before engaging in an Enochian ritual. This goes beyond mere decoration. It's about establishing an environment conducive to inner work. Visualization plays a key role here, allowing you to imbue the space with specific energies and intentions. Invocation calls upon the forces you wish to engage with, creating a resonant field for the ritual. Intention focuses your will, directing the flow of energy and shaping the outcome. Consider methods to evoke specific emotional or psychological qualities, perhaps through music, incense, or symbolic objects. This ties directly back to our earlier discussions on creating a personal temple, a sanctuary where the boundaries between the inner and outer worlds blur. How do we then cast the roles for our theater? What roles do we need to cast? Explain how to identify and embody the different characters or archetypal forces that will be interacting within the ritual drama. Think of the seeker, the part of you that yearns for knowledge and transformation. The guide, a source of wisdom and direction, perhaps embodied by a personalized angel as we discussed earlier. The shadow, the repressed aspects of your psyche that must be confronted and integrated. And the higher self, your ultimate potential, the divine spark within. These roles are not fixed entities, but rather fluid aspects of your own being, each with its own unique qualities and motivations. By consciously embodying these roles, you bring the ritual to life, creating a dynamic interplay of inner forces. But how do we then direct the action? Directing the action requires practical guidance on how to use the Enochian keys, coals, and other symbolic tools to guide the unfolding of the ritual drama. The keys are not mere incantations, but rather potent catalysts for shifting consciousness and accessing different realms of experience. Emphasize the importance of improvisation, allowing the ritual to unfold organically, guided by your intuition and emotional responses. Authenticity is key. Don't force anything, but rather allow the drama to emerge from the depths of your being. Staying present in the moment is crucial, allowing you to respond to the subtle cues and shifts in energy that arise. Consider techniques to enhance focus, such as deep breathing, visualization, or mantra repetition. We would even recommend that meditation be a focus to enhance the process and build long-term ability. What we are looking to achieve is making the system personalized for long-term success. But after it's all done, how do we analyze the play? Analyzing the play will come down to journaling and understanding what the system creates. After each ritual, take detailed notes on your experiences, feelings, and visions. What emotions arose? What symbols resonated with you? What insights did you gain? Describe any visions, no matter how fleeting or strange they may seem. What does it all relate to? Look for patterns and connections, both within the ritual itself and in your life as a whole. This is not about seeking definitive answers, but rather about deepening your understanding of yourself and the forces that shape your reality. By grounding the system in this way, you ensure that the transformative potential is fully realized. What would this look like in real life? For these ideas to hit home, let's consider some case studies of Enochian ritual as a transformative tool. First, consider personal transformation, using an Enochian ritual to confront and integrate a repressed emotion, such as anger or grief. The initial setup of the ritual might involve creating a sacred space, invoking the appropriate angelic forces, and clearly stating the intention to understand and heal the root of your anger. The key emotional points might involve vividly experiencing the anger, allowing it to surface without judgment, and exploring its origins in past experiences or beliefs. The final integration might involve forgiving yourself and others, releasing the anger, and transforming it into compassion and understanding. Second, consider the next example. Consider creativity, using an Enochian ritual to unlock creative blocks and tap into new sources of inspiration. Specific keys may unlock the art, acting as a catalyst for new ideas and perspectives. Analyze that the end is always new self-expression, allowing you to channel your creative energy in new and innovative ways. Show methods to make that expression physical, perhaps through writing, painting, music, or dance. The result is something tangible, a concrete expression of your inner world. How else can we enhance daily life? How can we use a ritual to create enhancement in a relationship? A couple may work with Enochian magic to enhance their relationship, strengthening their bond and deepening their connection. Key emotional states for the system may include love, compassion, and forgiveness. The focus must be on making it better, dissolving any resentment or misunderstandings that may be present. The goal is to build on the positive insight, creating a foundation of trust and mutual respect. But what can be done to help the world? We can also consider a ritual to enhance community. A shared intent with multiple people using the same method and goal can make a large impact, amplifying the energy and creating a ripple effect of positive change. Focus on positive traits, such as compassion, generosity, and cooperation. It is crucial to avoid harm to others, ensuring that the intent is purely benevolent. Keep intent clear, focusing on the desired outcome and avoiding any ambiguity or negativity. This is action for positive change, a powerful way to contribute to the well-being of the world. However, even with all this in mind, there needs to be a level of caution. What then are the dangers and ethical considerations of engaging in Enochian rituals? We must emphasize the importance of responsible practice, self-awareness, and respecting boundaries. There is a potential to trigger psychological problems, especially for those with pre-existing mental health conditions. Addiction and imbalance can arise, as the intense experiences can become addictive, leading to a detachment from reality. Long-term harm is a risk for those who may be mentally ill, potentially exacerbating their symptoms. This reinforces that balance is key, ensuring that you are grounded and stable before diving into such profound practices. What actions can be taken to maintain boundaries? What methods can we engage with to maintain boundaries and mental health? Grounding is always key, connecting you to the earth and anchoring your consciousness in the present moment. Mental health is not a joke, and it is essential to seek professional help if you are struggling with any psychological issues. Self-care is always important, ensuring that you are nourishing your body, mind, and spirit. Health is key, and it must be prioritized above all else. What are the ethics behind using this system? Explain the ethics behind using this system for harm. Never try to control others, as this violates their free will and can have devastating consequences. Always focus on the self, using the system as a tool for personal growth and transformation. Understand your intent and why, ensuring that your motivations are pure and aligned with your highest good. This focuses intent, directing your energy towards positive outcomes. With that in mind, in summary, the system is about understanding yourself so that you can understand the universe. With that, it must always be treated with care, respect, and responsibility. Reiterate core concepts: intention, balance, and self-awareness. With all of this, your mind will grow, and you can have long-term fulfillment, living a life of purpose and meaning. Empower the user and reinforce that all previous points can help, creating a positive feedback loop of growth and transformation. And what we'll discuss next will shock you. What they don't want you to know is that the Enochian alphabet is much more than a collection of symbols. It's a living blueprint of creation itself. Is it merely a cipher, a code to be cracked? Or is it something far more profound, a series of glyphs representing the very fabric of reality? Let's delve deeper into the heart of Enochian magic and explore how each letter embodies a specific energy, a fundamental force shaping our universe. Imagine each letter not as a static character, but as a dynamic expression of energy. Consider the letter Un, often associated with the element of air. It is not merely a symbol, but a vibration, a wave of potential that resonates with the flow of breath, the movement of thought, and the ever-changing currents of the atmosphere. When you visualize this letter, feel the lightness, the freedom, the boundless possibilities that it represents. Now, what if we shifted our perspective, moving away from seeing these letters as mere code, and instead recognizing their true potential as conduits of raw, untamed energy? This, fellow mystics, is the key to unlocking the true power of the Enochian system. But to truly understand the Enochian alphabet, we must first define the concept of sacred geometry, for it is here that we find the hidden key to unlocking its power. Sacred geometry is the belief that certain geometric shapes and proportions are found throughout nature and the cosmos, reflecting an underlying order and harmony. The Enochian letters, far from being arbitrary, reflect these very geometric patterns, mirroring the spirals of galaxies, the branching of trees, and the intricate structures of crystals. Look closely at the Enochian tablets, and you will see these patterns repeating themselves, a testament to the interconnectedness of all things. Each shape has a purpose, each line a direction, each angle a specific resonance. This is not mere coincidence. It is evidence of a deeper design, a cosmic language woven into the very fabric of existence. Visual examples of these designs can be shown, illustrating the intricate patterns and geometric relationships within the Enochian letters and tablets. Doesn't this connection between nature and the Enochian system open up new avenues for understanding and working with this powerful magic? Moreover, each Enochian letter possesses its own unique shape and structure. What if these shapes weren't arbitrary, but were reflections of the human form? Consider the letter Ve, often associated with the element of water. Its flowing lines and curves can be seen to mirror the spine, the central axis of the human body, the conduit for vital energy and consciousness. Or consider the letter Jid, associated with the element of fire. Its sharp angles and upward thrust can be seen to represent the arms, reaching out to grasp, to create, to manifest. By visualizing these connections, we gain a new way to relate to the letters, to feel them within our own bodies, to understand their power on a visceral level. This provides the user with new ways to visualize, connecting them to the source. But how can this alphabet be used as a code for personal intent and power? How can we harness these energies to manifest our desires, to shape our destinies, to leave a lasting impact on the world around us? This goes far beyond simple spellcasting. It's about aligning ourselves with the fundamental forces of creation, becoming co-creators of our own reality. This can be related to long-term influence, a subtle but powerful shift in our thoughts, feelings, and actions that gradually transforms our lives and the lives of those around us. How can this impact our actions? By consciously imbuing our actions with the energy of the Enochian letters, we can amplify their effect, directing them towards our desired outcome with laser-like focus and unwavering intent. This prepares the user with new avenues, connecting them to the long term and their potential. But what if each letter is not just external to the person, but intrinsically tied to the internal workings of the body? What if, instead of viewing these symbols as detached entities, we see them as representations of the very processes occurring within our own being? Consider the letter Graph, which can be reframed as the letter of emotion residing in your heart, igniting the fires of passion and compassion. Or perhaps the letter Pham, the embodiment of thought, sparking like lightning in the vast expanse of your brain. By turning each letter into a tangible emotion, we unlock a new level of understanding, a deeper connection to the Enochian system, and a potent tool for personal transformation. Let's connect and analyze this further. The letters can be connected to the endocrine system, mapping each gland to a specific symbol, unlocking hormonal balance and heightened intuition. The letters can also be connected to the nervous system, channeling energy through the neural pathways, enhancing cognitive function and accelerating spiritual growth. Visuals and connections can be shown, such as diagrams connecting the letters to the various systems of the body, highlighting their specific functions and energetic properties. With this insight, we can see how these systems work together, creating a symphony of inner harmony and well-being. But now, let's discover something even more profound. Your body can speak its own language. This means your body can talk to itself through the Enochian letters. By combining these letters, you can create feelings in the body and mind, weaving a tapestry of sensations and emotions that resonate with your deepest desires and intentions. You will become the Enochian language, a living embodiment of its power and wisdom. This connects the mind and body as a whole, creating a unified field of consciousness where thoughts, feelings, and sensations merge into a single harmonious expression. So how do we personalize this system engaging with the letters in a ritualistic and meaningful way. We can start with techniques to charge them, imbuing each letter with our own unique energy and intention. We can engage different sensations, exploring the tactile, auditory, and visual dimensions of each symbol, amplifying their impact on our consciousness. We can find ways to enhance each system using breathwork, visualization, and movement to activate the corresponding areas of the body. This grounds you with a full system, providing a framework for consistent practice and long-term growth. Is there a limit to this? What if we challenged the notion that the Enochian language is fixed, limited to the words and phrases already known? What if we dared to venture beyond the established boundaries, constructing new words, new phrases, new expressions of power and intent? Infinite potential can be reached by constructing new words. The letters themselves may not be limited, and there are always new paths to take, new realms to explore. By combining them and imbuing them with our intent, we unlock their true power, shaping them to our will and manifesting our desires with unwavering force. This focuses on a long-term system, a continuous process of discovery and creation that leads to ever greater levels of understanding and mastery. So, how can we bring this into reality? We can start by writing down the words, the system, and the plan, creating a tangible representation of our intentions. Then we can visualize and repeat this, imbuing the words with our energy and emotion, planting them firmly in our subconscious mind. Finally, we can see it in the mind, body, and soul, aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions with our desired outcome, creating a powerful force for manifestation. This actionable plan engages the body, making the process more real, more tangible, and more likely to succeed. But how does this combine with other systems? What if we integrated the Enochian language with other esoteric traditions, amplifying its power and unlocking new levels of understanding? We can combine it with the mandala, creating a visual representation of our intent, a focal point for our energy and attention. We can combine it with the key, using the Enochian calls to open new states of consciousness, accessing higher realms of wisdom and insight. By engaging all the systems, we create a powerful synergy, a convergence of energies that can lead to profound transformation. This long-term effect and plan focuses you on what it can achieve and how to achieve it. Moreover, you are speaking a language for yourself. There is no wrong or right, just focus intent. Creating the sound in your own head to connect and change, activating the vibrations, and attuning our consciousness to the desired frequency. These practical tips engage you with change, empowering you to take control of your life and shape your destiny. Just see what works and stick with it, allowing your intuition to guide you and trusting in the process. But let's not forget the essential ingredient, ethics. This system of long-term potential can easily get out of hand without a strong ethical compass. You may find great fame or power, but it can come at a cost, a sacrifice of your integrity, your humanity, your very soul. It is about becoming one with the world around you, recognizing your interconnectedness with all things and acting in accordance with the highest good. Otherwise, the transformation may not be real, a mere illusion masking a deeper corruption. Let's summarize some actions for transformation. First, make them for the self, focusing on your own growth and development. Second, maintain the intent of power, using your will to shape your reality. Finally, never use that intent to control, as that path will never yield happiness. This transformation provides long-term strength, a resilience that comes from within, a deep understanding of yourself and your place in the world. In closing, the language gives strength. By seeing it, feeling it, and engaging with it, a new state of strength can be seen. This creates a brand new connection for years to come, a lasting legacy of transformation and empowerment. Focus intent and visualize, imbuing your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the power of the Enochian system. This power changes the world, rippling outwards from you, creating a wave of positive change that transforms everything it touches. What awaits us in the realms that the Enochian tablets seek to represent? What if the senses are not merely tools for perceiving the external world, but are in fact gateways to inner landscapes, keys to unlocking higher states of consciousness that John Dee himself was seeking. In the grand tapestry of Enochian magic, could our very senses be the threads that connect us to the angelic realms, a bridge between the mundane and the divine? Let us embark on an exploration of the Enochian senses, venturing beyond the traditional understanding and into a realm where perception becomes a potent instrument of transformation. Consider the physical senses not as limitations, but as avenues to new areas of the brain. The signals sent from our eyes, ears, skin, nose, and tongue are not simply registering external stimuli. They are actively shaping our neural pathways, rewiring our brains with each new experience. This constant feedback loop, connecting the internal with the external, suggests a far more dynamic and interactive relationship with our surroundings. Dee, with his meticulous use of crystals and intense visualizations, may not have been solely reliant on external objects, but rather tapping into the inherent power of sensory input to ignite the inner landscape of his mind. What if these tools were prompts, triggers designed to unlock dormant areas within his own consciousness? This perspective sets the stage for a unique take on the use of the senses, reframing them as powerful tools for self-discovery and spiritual exploration rather than passive receivers of external information. To understand this further, let us explore how each of the 5 senses might relate to specific elements and aspects within the Enochian system. Sight, in this context, transcends mere visual perception and becomes intrinsically linked to the ethers, those vast and vibrant planes of existence revealed through Enochian visions. Sound, more than just auditory input, resonates with the Enochian keys, those powerful linguistic invocations designed to unlock the gates of angelic communication. Touch connects us to the tablets, grounding us in the physical world and anchoring our spiritual experiences in the tangible realm. Smell becomes intertwined with intent, the subtle yet potent force that guides our magical workings. And finally, taste, often overlooked, can be associated with shadow work, exploring the hidden aspects of our psyche and confronting the darker elements within ourselves. Can such a system for assigning symbolic meaning to each sense provide us with a new lens through which to understand the Enochian mysteries? Could Dee have encoded different senses for distinct purposes, creating a complex map of consciousness accessible through sensory stimulation? Perhaps some sensory experiences were designed to enhance creativity, igniting the imagination and opening the floodgates of inspiration. Others may have been intended to ground the practitioner, anchoring them firmly in the present moment and preventing them from becoming lost in the ethereal realms. Still, others might have been crafted to create vivid visualizations, transforming the inner eye into a powerful instrument of perception. What if Dee, in his meticulous recording of these sensory experiences, was in fact acting as an advanced consciousness mapper, charting the uncharted territories of the human mind? This implies that the Enochian system is not merely a set of rituals and incantations, but a sophisticated tool for personal transformation and self-discovery. But what is the importance of training and developing these senses in the context of Enochian magic? Enhanced senses, sharpened and refined through dedicated practice, can undoubtedly lead to more vivid and impactful visualizations, opening the doors to deeper and more meaningful experiences within the ethers. A strong sense of self, cultivated through mindful awareness of our physical sensations, creates a grounded foundation for action, allowing us to translate our spiritual insights into tangible results in the world. And perhaps most importantly, the cultivation of all our senses helps to integrate intent, aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions with our desired outcome. This suggests that grounding, often overlooked in esoteric practices, is of paramount importance in the Enochian system. For without a firm connection to the physical world, our spiritual aspirations may remain mere fantasies, untethered to the reality we seek to shape. Now, let us consider what happens when these enhanced senses are combined, working in harmony to create a synergistic effect. Could these combinations act as a code, unlocking deeper levels of power and understanding within the Enochian system? Perhaps certain sensory combinations, like a specific scent paired with a particular sound, trigger specific neural pathways, opening access to hidden chambers within the mind. But what kind of code might they unlock? Could it be a key to unlocking dormant psychic abilities, accessing forgotten knowledge, or even manipulating the fabric of reality itself? This opens up a realm of future potential, hinting at the transformative possibilities that lie dormant within the Enochian system, waiting to be awakened through the conscious cultivation of our senses. Consider specific meditation techniques that can be used to connect the inner and outer senses, bridging the gap between our subjective experience and the objective world. Close your eyes and focus your intent on what you wish to change, whether it be a limiting belief, a negative emotion, or an undesirable circumstance. Now, instead of simply visualizing the desired outcome, engage your senses to actively shape it within your mind. Feel the texture of the new reality, hear the sounds of its unfolding, smell the fragrance of its manifestation, taste the sweetness of its realization, and see the vibrant colors of its creation. The world is, after all, only a canvas upon which we create with the brushstrokes of our consciousness. By actively engaging our senses, we transform ourselves from passive observers to active creators, shaping our reality with the power of our minds. But how do we put this into action? How do we translate these theoretical concepts into practical techniques that can be applied in our daily lives? Start by consciously engaging each of your senses, focusing your attention on the present moment and noticing the subtle details that often go unnoticed. Visualize the images you want to see in your life, creating a mental tapestry of your desired reality. Create the world you want to hear, filling your mind with uplifting sounds, empowering affirmations, and harmonious melodies. Interact with the physical world in a mindful way, touching objects with intention, feeling their textures, and experiencing their unique properties. Connect with scents that evoke positive emotions, using aromatherapy or simply taking a moment to appreciate the fragrances of nature. And finally, engage with unique foods that create new feelings, exploring different flavors and textures, and allowing them to awaken your senses. Engaging all your senses consciously is a potent tool for transformation, empowering you to shape your reality from the inside out. Now, let us consider why connecting these systems is so crucial for advancement on the Enochian path. The whole is always greater than the sum of its parts, and combining our senses creates a synergistic effect that amplifies their individual power. Multisensory experiences have a far greater impact on our consciousness, leaving a lasting impression on our minds and bodies. When we engage all our senses simultaneously, we become fully present in the moment, dissolving the boundaries between ourselves and the object of our attention. This heightened state of awareness allows us to become one with our intent, aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions with our desired outcome. Through this process, we unlock a greater and more enhanced sense of intent, transforming ourselves into potent instruments of manifestation. Let's examine some practical examples for engaging your senses to enhance intent. Visualize numbers to manifest abundance, focusing on the feeling of wealth and security as you see the figures in your mind's eye. Eat healthy foods to lose weight, savoring the flavors and textures of nourishing meals and connecting with the feeling of vitality and well-being. Connect with people to enhance relationships, listening attentively to their words, noticing their body language, and feeling the warmth of their presence. Engage with power, seeing yourself in a position of authority, feeling the confidence of leadership, and taking control of your future with unwavering determination. Each of these actions, when performed with focused intent and mindful sensory engagement, strengthens the connection between our inner world and our external reality, accelerating the manifestation of our desires. But what if long-term action is the real key to rewiring the brain, creating lasting change that that ripples outwards into all aspects of our lives. Make long-term goals, setting your sights on distant horizons and committing to the journey regardless of the obstacles that may arise. Remember that a habit takes at least 6 months to truly solidify, to become ingrained in our neural pathways and integrated into our daily routines. There will undoubtedly be challenges along the way, moments of doubt, temptation, and discouragement. But what if it's possible to change our very biology through the power of intent, transforming ourselves into the people we were always meant to be? This suggests that brain changes can lead to long-term actions, empowering us to overcome obstacles, break free from limiting beliefs, and manifest our full potential. But how do we relate these enhanced senses to the specific components of the Enochian system? How do we integrate our sensory experiences into the framework of the tablets, the keys, and the ethers? Start by drawing your own map of how you express yourself in the world, mapping your sensory strengths and weaknesses, and identifying areas where you can cultivate greater awareness. How do you visualize? What images resonate most deeply with your soul? How do you touch? What textures, materials, or sensations bring you the most joy and comfort? How do you act? What behaviors, habits, or routines support your goals and values? By consciously creating new pathways in your mind, we begin to reshape our reality, transforming ourselves into the architects of our own destinies. Now, what if long-term effort can significantly increase our connection with those elusive entities that permeate the Enochian realms? Imagine them starting to exist more tangibly in your life, their presence becoming more palpable, their guidance more readily accessible. Visualization becomes easier, the images in your mind's eye growing sharper, clearer, and more vibrant. Your power increases, you will become more focused, and your ability to manifest your desires becomes more effortless. This happens because, now, the world itself is beginning to support your plan, aligning itself with your intent, and conspiring to bring your visions to fruition. What if the connection to these beings is directly related to our long-term consistency? This connects to the power of manifestation, demonstrating how sustained effort, combined with focused intent, can unlock the hidden forces that shape our reality. Let us consider how changing our intent can, in turn, shift our reality, transforming the world around us to reflect our inner landscape. As you cultivate positive thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, you will inevitably draw those results to you, attracting opportunities, synchronicities, and relationships that support your goals. You will begin to attract those things that you think and feel, experiencing a profound shift in your perception of reality. By thinking, feeling, and visualizing correctly, we will inevitably change, transforming ourselves into magnets for success, happiness, and fulfillment. In this process, the body and mind will naturally act to achieve our desired outcomes, aligning themselves with our intent and working in harmony to create a life of purpose, passion, and abundance. But let us not forget the essential ingredient that binds all of this together: ethics. This system of long-term potential, with its capacity to reshape our reality, must be approached with the utmost respect, reverence, and responsibility. Remember that this system is not about control, manipulating others, or bending the world to our will. It is, rather, about cultivating insight, aligning ourselves with the natural order, and expressing our true potential with unwavering integrity. Harm comes when our intent is unclear, when we act from a place of ego, fear, or greed. This implies that we must always check our motivations, ensuring that our actions are aligned with the highest good and contribute to the well-being of all. But how do we connect this with a positive goal, ensuring that our actions are aligned with our values and contribute to the greater good? A positive goal always includes helping others, serving a purpose beyond our own individual needs, and leaving the world a better place than we found it. Always avoid any selfish plans or intent, resisting the temptation to use our power for personal gain at the expense of others. It all must start from a place of good, from a genuine desire to make a positive difference in the world, to uplift and empower those around us. By connecting our actions with a positive goal, We create long-term relationships, building a foundation of trust, respect, and mutual support that will sustain us through the challenges ahead. Let us also express our concerns for long-term mental health, recognizing the potential risks associated with intense sensory exploration and altered states of consciousness. If you find yourself not in a good place, overwhelmed, or struggling with negative emotions, stop. Take a break from the practice, seek support from trusted friends or family members, and prioritize your well-being above all else. Be sure to take breaks to maintain a good mind, allowing yourself time to rest, recharge, and reconnect with the ordinary pleasures of life. Consider working this system in conjunction with a therapist, seeking professional guidance to navigate any emotional or psychological challenges that may arise. Remember, the pursuit of knowledge and power should never come at the cost of our mental or emotional health. Don't abuse the power you are exploring. Now let us summarize. These powers, combined with our intent, action, enhanced visualization, and refined senses, can create major results in our lives. With long-term use, we may profoundly change our brains and our bodies, transforming ourselves into more capable, resilient, and empowered individuals. Use this wisely, with respect, integrity, and a deep awareness of the interconnectedness of all things. Never try to influence others, respecting their autonomy, their free will, and their right to choose their own path. Build and grow with the new systems in place, integrating your insights into your daily life and allowing them to guide your actions and shape your reality. Engage the power to enhance and create a long-term power source, drawing upon the wellspring of your own inner potential and sharing your gifts with the world. Now, take your power to create a new world, a world of compassion, understanding, and mutual support. Imagine the Enochian system not as a collection of isolated instruments, but as a full orchestra, each section distinct yet essential, capable of producing a sound on its own, but only achieving true harmony when played in concert. Could it be that each instrument, each element of the Enochian system, the alphabet, the entities, the geometry, the keys, the senses, and the rituals, finds its true power not in isolation, but when combined into a cohesive and integrated system for personal transformation? Each facet will work independently, undoubtedly, offering glimpses of insight and moments of connection. But when expressed together, when meticulously orchestrated, something entirely new is born, something far greater than the sum of its parts, implying, then, that the true potential lies not just in utilizing the individual elements, but in weaving them together into a tapestry of transformative experience. But what does this holistic integration truly entail? Is it merely about using multiple techniques in conjunction, or does it demand something more profound, something more synergistic? It's not simply about performing a ritual while visualizing geometric shapes and chanting Enochian keys, but about creating a feedback loop, a reciprocal relationship where each element enhances and reinforces the others. Consider, for example, how the senses, so recently explored, can be used not only to perceive the angelic realms, but to actively power the Enochian alphabet. To fuel our connection with the entities, to intensify the focus of the Enochian keys. Indeed, when approached with intent, the senses open doors to new areas of the brain, forging new pathways, creating new codes, and ultimately transforming our very perception of reality. Connecting this, then, to the creation of not just intent, but tangible and lasting results. Demonstrating how Enochian magic is about something far greater than just the sum of its parts. Each step of this journey, each element we've explored in these videos, from embracing the Enochian alphabet to connecting with our own personal entities, from manifesting the geometric structure of reality with the keys and visualizations to harnessing the power of our senses to create new codes, all serve as vital components, necessary building blocks in this grand architecture of transformation. But are they merely ends in themselves, or are they, in fact, a means to something far stronger, something far more profound? And by engaging with these components, do we create a better version of ourselves, empowering not only ourselves but others, and ultimately creating a society founded upon growth and understanding, aligning, then, with the very future of this ancient system, emphasizing, in the end, a purpose that extends far beyond the individual self. But how can one, in the midst of the daily grind, take this complex system and transform it into a long-term way of being, not just a set of occasional rituals, but a constant state of mindful creation? What is it that can be done with this newfound power, this enhanced awareness, this connection to the angelic realms, and conversely, what are its limitations? What boundaries must we respect? What potential pitfalls must we avoid in order to ensure responsible and ethical practice? And how will these issues be addressed as we continue to explore this potent system? Setting, then, the stage for actionable power, a tangible force that can shape not only our inner world, but our external reality. Now, with all the pieces in play, the alphabet resonating with the entities, the geometry shaping the keys, the senses amplifying intent, and the rituals weaving it all together, this system transcends mere technique and truly becomes a process, a journey of continuous transformation. Highlighting then how the beginning, while filled with intent, often lacked the focused action, the synergistic power that comes from integrating all these elements, and by working in tandem, we gain the ability to express results with far greater clarity, far greater impact. Introducing, then, the concept of true will, not merely what we desire, but what we need. Aligning our actions with our deepest values, and ultimately transforming ourselves into instruments of divine purpose. To further solidify this connection, to amplify the power of this integrated system, consider connecting with a personal symbol, a visual sigil, a tangible representation of your intent. Might this symbol serve as a constant reminder, a focal point for your energy, a grounding anchor in the midst of ethereal explorations? This symbol can be drawn from the ENOCHIAN tablets, a geometric form that resonates with your soul, or it can be something entirely of your own creation, charged with your personal energy and imbued with your specific intent. It can be a symbol of power, a sigil of insight, or something that you consciously create and charge with energy, all serving, then, as a grounding point. A visual representation of one's most inner intentions. But how does this translate into practical action, into tangible results that manifest in our daily lives? Let's examine a practical way to engage this system for long-term power, a step-by-step process for translating ethereal intent into concrete reality, starting with the acknowledgement of an action with clear and unwavering intent, focusing that intent, visualizing the desired outcome with all your senses, considering the effect this action will have on your circle, your community, the world around you. And then taking a chance, stepping out of your comfort zone, trying something new, and meticulously documenting the results, seeing, then, how this simple process can transform intention into action, bridging the gap between the inner and outer worlds. Connecting, then, this process to the overall mind, to the vast and often uncharted territory of the subconscious, recognizing that intent is not a static entity, but a dynamic process, a journey of continuous exploration, of constantly asking questions and expressing those discoveries to the world, weaving what you've learned into the fabric of your being. Allowing it to shape not only your thoughts, but your actions, your relationships, your very perception of reality, fully connecting, then, the mind and body with what has been learned, creating the most amazing version of yourself. But is it enough to simply embark on this path, to dabble in the ENOCHIAN system, to experience fleeting moments of insight and inspiration? Or is it vital to commit to a sustained and unwavering journey, to stay the course even when faced with challenges and doubts? The mind, after all, is a restless entity, constantly shifting, pulling you in new directions, tempting you with distractions, and there will inevitably be moments of fear, anxiety, and doubt, moments when you question your sanity, your ability, or even the very validity of the system. Acknowledging those moments is paramount. And then, armed with that insight, keep moving forward, embracing not a sprint, but a marathon, a long-term investment into your future. Providing, then, methods to ground ourselves in this system, to keep it tangible and relevant amidst the chaos of daily life. And so, consider tracking your experiences in a journal, meticulously documenting your insights, your visions, your challenges, your triumphs, and then setting a schedule, a consistent routine for engaging with the Enochian practices, weaving them into the very fabric of your daily life, relating, then, to what you know and have seen, asking questions, and always keeping an open mind, always be tracking insight. Demonstrating, now, new methods of using your own passions, your own unique gifts, to connect with the Enochian system, to translate its principles into tangible expressions of your soul, and to that end, create the art you want to see, the music that resonates with your soul, the worlds you wish to inhabit, drawing inspiration from the angelic realms and manifesting them here on earth. Designing music from the source of your soul, creating a world and seeing it grow, allowing the creative process to become a conduit for divine inspiration, leading to new and lasting effects. Now, to amplify the effects of this transformative system, consider leaning on your newfound community, connecting with fellow seekers, sharing your experiences, and supporting one another on this challenging, yet rewarding journey, highlighting that they will empower you to be even greater. They all will want the best for you and you for them, and that will help the system go full circle. Because teamwork creates power. Reiterating now that long-term intent is the true key to success in the Enochian system, that fleeting moments of inspiration are meaningless without the sustained effort, the unwavering commitment to integrating these principles into your daily life. Now you are equipped to do amazing things with the world, and remembering that the journey of discovery is always about respecting and learning. It comes down to being humble. Expressing, then, how it all comes down to what is expressed with intent, how we channel that newfound power, that enhanced awareness, that connection to the angelic realms, into tangible action. And so, what are your plans with this newfound power? Where will this all take the world, as it all comes down to what is expressed with intent? But perhaps, most importantly, show how it all comes down to the self, recognizing that true transformation begins within, with the conscious choice to align our actions with our values, our intent with our purpose. And so, what you will express to make it all happen and be amazing, all comes down to the true core of why, demonstrating that long-term success in expression is everything, not what you force on the world. And so, in closing, we now understand that this is a powerful path and a power that you can all take, by showing it and expressing it with a long-term intent, all starting with time, intent, and action, all culminating in a world that will emerge, shaped by your will, guided by your intent, and fueled by your action. And the path is clear, and you can create something great. It's all about where your journey will lead you. As we conclude our journey through the intricate pathways of Enochian magic, having traversed its historical depths, linguistic nuances, and practical applications, we find ourselves standing at a vantage point where we can truly appreciate the multifaceted nature of this enigmatic system, and in reflecting upon this grand tapestry of symbols and secrets, it is now time to consolidate the knowledge we've acquired. We've explored how John Dee was not merely a passive channel for angelic communication, but an active participant, a brilliant mind who meticulously crafted and refined a unique system. And further, we've revealed how this system is more than just a collection of rituals. It's a sophisticated code, a map to unlock the hidden potential within ourselves, as well as demonstrating how it should not be taken lightly. This code has been presented to the audience as a gift to work with, and it now is up to them to use it with the utmost respect. Synthesizing our central theme, we've moved beyond the literal interpretation of angelic communication and arrived at a profound understanding of Enochian magic as a symbolic code, a framework for mapping and transforming consciousness itself. The angels, then, are not external entities hovering in the ether, but mirrors reflecting aspects of our own being, our own potential, and thus, the language becomes a code, the system a map, and the entities become keys to unlocking dormant chambers within our own psyche. These various components, so seemingly disparate, work in exquisite relation to each other, and when brought into harmonious action, they provide new and lasting insights. When approached with balance and respect, the Enochian system offers a profound path to self-discovery and transformation, with each piece serving a distinct purpose, contributing to the overall tapestry of meaning and power. And as the viewer prepares to embark on their own explorations, let us reiterate: approach with reverence, with intention, and with an open mind, remembering then that they hold the keys to not just the angelic realms, but to their own inner universes. Returning now to the initial mystery, we began by asking whether John Dee was simply hearing angels, but now we see his true genius lay in mapping new territory, new frontiers, not in the heavens above, but within the vast and unexplored landscape of the human brain. Thus, the angelic communications, while intriguing, are ultimately secondary to the deeper purpose of self-discovery and spiritual evolution, showing how the system can be used for inner development and growth. But how can a practice so ancient, so rooted in the esoteric traditions of Elizabethan England, remain relevant and practical in our modern world? A world so vastly different from Dee's own, and how can a system so old still resonate with us today? While many systems fall prey to the ravages of time, the Enochian system endures, perhaps because at its core lies the timeless power of intent, the unwavering focus of the human will, or maybe because it is a system created not just to work for a specific time, but to resonate for a lifetime, constantly evolving with the times, adapting, and forever remaining relevant. With its staying power resting upon the key action of intent, and that action forever linking to a code that provides power. And so, this journey into Enochian magic invites us to ponder the very nature of consciousness and the limits of human potential. It suggests a vast, unexplored world of possibilities that lie dormant within us, waiting to be awakened, waiting to be expressed, and awaiting a chance to work in union, leaving us to wonder, then, what is truly stopping us from tapping into these reserves of power, these latent abilities, and what action is required to change that, demonstrating, ultimately, that with all the answers now known, it is truly up to the user to act. And as the system has only grown stronger through use, through exploration, through the dedicated efforts of countless seekers over the centuries, we must now ask, what is the ultimate limit? Where does this journey truly end? And as these pieces continue to evolve, to intertwine, to synergize, will they ultimately transform into something entirely new, something even more profound and long-lasting, allowing one to design systems of change that can reverberate through the corridors of time and through the lives of those who interact with it? The power, then, is yours, if you so choose to embrace it. Remember all that we have uncovered in this video, all that you now understand about the history, the language, the rituals, the symbolism, and the potential of Enochian magic, all the building blocks that compose this intricate architecture of transformation, and how it's now a fully realized method that you can wield, and by working with it, one can create something with real purpose. And so now you hold the tools, the knowledge, the understanding to wield this power for good, to shape your reality, to transform your life, and to inspire others to do the same. This system has changed, it has shifted, and it will continue to evolve, empowering countless others along the way. And so, we ask, what new realities will you now manifest with this newfound power? What new worlds will you create? What new heights will you ascend to? Consider now the new actions, the new emotions, the new connections that you will forge, the new power that you will draw from others, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own individual sphere of influence. And remember that this journey of self-discovery and transformation has the potential to create a world-changing, and lasting impact. And so the exploration never truly ends. The quest for knowledge, for self-discovery, for the unlocking of our hidden potential is an ongoing process, a continuous cycle of learning, growing, and evolving. Thus, the only limit is that which you impose upon yourself, and all of this serves to remind you of the immense power and strength that resides within you, the power to shape your destiny, to create your reality, and to manifest your dreams, all starting with your intent and building into your actions. In closing, it all comes down to intent, for without it, you are just as lost as when you started, wandering aimlessly through the labyrinthine corridors of the mind. But with it, you are never truly lost, because intent is the compass that guides you, the beacon that illuminates your path, and the force that propels you forward. So what are you going to do now? What new frontiers will you explore? What uncharted corners of your mind will you reach? What new realities will you create? And what new worlds will you manifest, showing, in the end, how it all comes down to your expression of what you've learned and what you plan to contribute. So as we move forward, I implore you to continue to explore, to continue to question, to continue to seek out the hidden truths that lie dormant within yourself and the universe around you. And if this video has ignited a spark of curiosity within you, then subscribe for more insights into the esoteric mysteries of the ages. Support the channel, keep this conversation alive, and let us work together to change the world, one person at a time. We've definitively shown that by combining intent and the mind, you hold the key to unlock new worlds, new realities, and new possibilities. And the key is now for you to take action, to wield this power with respect, with humility, and with a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, expressing with clarity and with a goal that is strong for the future. And so what began as a code, an enigma to be deciphered, now transforms into a living, breathing force, a catalyst for action, a wellspring of creative expression, a bridge between the inner and outer worlds, making the future yours, now and forever.